corroding like a geezer.
You know, I've been meaning to say this for quite some time, but that music, that intro music that I picked for this show, kind of sounds like a Pixar short, doesn't it? I don't know. Just every time I hear it, I think of a Pixar movie. But anyway, you are watching Graybeard's Studio. Excuse me. It's the best show on the interwebs, and we just got our Nielsen ratings back, and we once again are #1 in our time slot. So we're very excited about that. And we owe it all to you guys for being here and supporting the show. So hit that like and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. All that good stuff helps this channel grow and spread worldwide the influence of the Graybeards. But I can't do this show alone. So let me bring in my cohorts, my friendly studio mates, my competitors if it were a competition, but of course it's not. So just friends. Let's bring them in order here. It looks like that's the skunk ape right there. Kelsey Shannon is here.
Oh, crap. Oh, let me hide my porn. Hang on.
Well, if you're looking at the world of wood, you probably are pretty close to having some porn in there.
Just a little something I picked up from the con. I don't know.
Yeah, you know. It's
hello, everybody. Hello.
I want to hear con stories from Tampa here in a minute, but let's bring in the rest of the gang. This is Mr. Disco himself, David Williams.
Yeah.
Look at that product placement, though. I love it. And as of course,
oh, it's he's at the club.
Word.
The roof is on fire.
Oh, wait a minute, are you rolling a joint, Kelsey?
Nah, it's my fidget.
Oh.
I guess it's out. I'm rolling. I do a fidget. This is one of my things. I like fold little tiny like corners of things, and then I touch them. And then
I don't
find
understand
another little
happening.
sharp piece. It's a fidget. It's a nervous tick.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, just
is that a real 50 or is that just like a Xerox or something? What is that?
What? No. No. It's a real 500.
Okay. All right.
It's a receipt.
Oh, I see. Thought maybe it was for the lottery or something.
Taco Bell.
Oh.
Me and John hanging out, going to Taco Bell. You know.
We need sponsorship. Taco Bell would be great. Here's a guy who lives at Taco Bell. Everybody, welcome Gary Martin.
Oh, what?
Where did you steal that?
That is so awesome.
No spinning and no decapitated heads.
Yeah, exactly.
Collection of no spitting signs. And through my research, I found that most of them are Chinese. So that
really?
Was news to me. I don't know if this is common knowledge that China is a nation of spitters, that the government actually has to tell its hillbilly citizens where not to spit.
Did you have to go to Hong Kong to get that? Hey,
no, I can get them on eBay.
You know there's no spitting on this show, Kelsey.
That's right.
That wasn't me.
Oh, is that David? I just assumed it was Kelsey. That's horrible.
I spit outside.
Kelsey doesn't
like normal
spit.
People. Yeah,
he swallows.
You saw the four of us walking down. Yeah, you saw the four of us walking down the street. Who would you think would be spitting?
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm not, I think I'm justified then. Hey, you guys, we were going to have Larry Stroman on as a special guest, but he called in sick at the last minute. So he will not be joining us today. We're sorry about that. But thankfully, we have the four of us, which is just, what can you say?
You don't need no stinking Larry Stroman.
That's right.
He's just scared.
Don't need no
He's scared.
Larry Stroman.
He was like, I don't know if I can bring the heat. These guys are awesome. They're some of my favorite artists. I agree with you, Larry. I mean, I know. So maybe
He said
work
there's
up
no
the
big
courage.
booty bitches in these categories. That's why he didn't want to come on.
Well, no, he actually Facebook messaged me and he said, who's on the show again besides you? And I said, David Williams, Gary Martin, and Kelsey Shannon. And he goes, who? And then he was out. So I don't know.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, this is beneath me.
That's right. You had some real talent on there.
I'd treat him like I remember meeting Brian Bolin, and he was like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it." And he's like, "No, really, what work have you done? Can I see any?" I'm like, "No, you'll never see it. Don't worry about it." And he was like, it made him want to see it even more. I think. And I was like, "Please leave me alone."
I was sitting next to Travis Charest at a show once, and I was working on a Star Wars piece, and I was kind of trying to hover over it so that no one could see, because I mean, you don't want Travis, he's sitting right next to you, and he kept looking over trying to see it, and I kept like moving the paper so he couldn't see it.
He was looking for ideas. He was like, "Oh, I can't think of it. What's he doing? Maybe he's."
I was like, "Yeah, you don't want to see this.
He's copying your homework."
Yeah, that's right. Why I don't draw on live stream. I don't want any witnesses.
For all the sacrifices and bodies you make to make that, that's a lot of bloodletting probably. Calves.
Gary's got a lot of bodies to bury if anybody finds out.
Well, I don't know. You're working some black magic with some of those inks, man. I don't know if that's real.
It's kind of creepy, actually.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Sitting in a pentagram right now.
What's that? Yeah. Excuse me. Let me address the chat while we've got a second here. Schism is here. He says, "Hail to the beards of gray." He says, "I guess no Atlas Comics today." Nope. Atlas Comics did not win. And my dog's going nuts downstairs, of course, because I'm live. Gold Key Comics actually won. You guys chose it. So don't blame me. I wanted to draw Iron Jaw, but that's okay. We'll figure out something else. Toshiro is here. Ronan, Creative Faye. She says, "Hello, old timers. You guys are ready to be dominated by Aaron." Yeah.
Yeah, of course you put that on the screen.
Well, I paid her to say it, but
we're all dominated by Aaron. We don't want to be here. It's
Let's just watch Aaron draw. We should do that.
This is forced labor.
Taskmaster.
Let's see here. Creative Face says she's trying to earn a cannonball today, but she's complimenting me. That's not the way to get a cannonball. Leg Kick is here because Leg Kick is almost always here. I'm going to go strangle my dog in about 30 seconds. Repairman Jack is here. Prater 7, Joseph Dredd. H is for Heretic. He says D-Wams finally has his chance to draw Star Trek. Bring it on home. Brian Norton all the way from Japan. Hail the Graybirds, visiting family. And he's in Northern California, so he can watch at a normal time. How about that? And his family's probably going, "Why are you watching this?" Dark Side is Comics is here. Squibs.
Why are you watching this? Your kid is hungry. Go feed him.
Daniel Russell is here. Blackjack. Who else we got here? Citizen Ronan, Marcus Killigrew, our pop culture knowledge machine. Kevin Thomas is here. Gold Key always looked have great art. Can we rephrase that in English? So
they sure did. They had,
good. Gold Key always looked.
What was that, Sam Jackson? English, mother. Can you speak?
Bill Weiss says, "I would love to see David's take on Dr. Solar. Kelsey tackles the Twilight Zone, and Aaron, of course, doing Trek." I'm not doing Trek because I'm not doing likenesses. Are you kidding me? I have a hard enough time finishing on this show.
Yeah, but you don't have editorial. You don't have actually a Shatner okaying your drawing. You can make them look like your version of Shatner.
I know, but then I'll take crap from everybody in the chat saying that doesn't look like Shatner.
There's a lot of Shat talk going on.
I tried, Chat.
You've got to make it look like Shatner. You got to make it look like me. So, Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Fane Lowlife is here. An anonymity. Anonymity T2 is here. Gosh. David Alicia. He wants Alien Legion. Yeah, you got the wrong show, David.
No, that's all me right there. You're just speaking my language. I love Alien.
If Larry was here, smoke you on that.
I know that's what. I'm glad he's not here. I'll take over. I'll do Larry Stroman drawing of Alien Legion
with a big old booty.
Yes.
Christina Lynn is here. Holy Hand Grenades. How do I always miss that up?
Bibbly Bob.
Bibbly Bob is here. Thank you very much. Pete 2E is here. Holy Hand Grenades. Verakusaki. Verakusaki. Man, you guys are killing me. Gut Stetch. Bobby Chrysafis is here. Henry Bemis is in Oregon, and he's here. Oh, my goodness.
Ooh, Antonio says Magnus. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Magnus Robot Hunter. How about
I might
that?
do that one. I might.
Ruby
Robot
J90
Fighter.
is here. Bretsky the Great. George Alvarez. Let's see. Am I missing anybody? Luffy is God, or is it Luffy is God? Is it Luffy or Luffy?
Potato.
Yeah.
I think it's Luffy because it's the from One Piece, right?
Okay. If you say so.
It's anime.
if-
You wouldn't
if
know such
Hol-
a thing.
I was wondering if Holy Hand Grenade had to count to 3 before he spoke.
The counting of the number is 3.
Yeah,
Not count to 5 is way out. Bretsky the Great, Jay Dredd, Jeff Potts, Brian. What do we got? Brian Evil One is here. He says, out looking for a new car. Have fun, guys.
All right. Good
So I
luck.
guess he's not here for long. Lieutenant Hughes, Antonio Raschillo. Look at all these names we've got in here. If you guys are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. And now let the entertainment begin. Kelsey.
Yes.
Yeah, the entertainment hasn't started yet.
Here we go.
All right. Do you have any idea what you might want to do?
Well, I'm definitely thinking Magnus, and Marcus is saying Magnus with Legia. Is it Legia or Leah?
I don't know.
I don't know how to pronounce names, but that sounds great. I was always a fan of that, and he's got a very easy costume, and it's red.
Yeah, he's got a mini skirt. What about you, D-Whams?
They did Green Hornet and Kato, so I'm thinking I might do that.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Dang.
How about that? I like that.
Oh my god.
Lieutenant Hughes for $2. Thank you, sir. Hail to the oldest men in comics. JK, y'all are great. Just kidding, I guess that means. But thank you for the $2. I appreciate that. And I'm not kidding. I want to do a little advertising here real quick if I can.
Same here.
No.
Let's do around.
No, you
Hang on
can't.
a second now.
What do you got?
This gentleman from the Comic Cult, which is his comic book store,
You're showing the wrong side.
You're showing us
gave
your
me
nipples.
this.
Oh,
Oh,
There
wait a
it
minute.
is.
Gave me the
Oh,
There you
gave me
go.
the
killer.
shirt at San Diego. It said, "Hey, would you wear this on the air?" And I go, "If you're going to give me free swag, I'm going to wear it on the air." So there
That's
it
It
is.
looks like
cool.
it looks like a firefighter shirt. I actually
Yeah.
really dig
It
that.
does,
I
doesn't
like
it?
it.
Yeah.
The Comic Cult. So there it is.
Well done.
I'm representing.
I want one. I won't
want
wear it on
Gary's
the air, but I want one.
I want Gary's shirt.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is that? American since 1776.
Yeah.
Are you that old? I mean, that's you're gonna you're giving Art Taber a run for his money.
Oh, funny.
Okay, let's do a little round robin here and do a little show and tell if we can. Kelsey, what have you got for us that you can?
Well, I just did a show and I forgot to show this off, but at the convention, Phil Diaz had made some. There you go. Share my screen, actually.
Oh, yeah,
I don't have. Yeah, I'm going old fashioned. No, the other one. There's one down at the bottom.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That
So,
one.
I did some prints of Shank that people could pick up at the convention, and Phil made these for me. But I only it was so scatterbrained that I kept forgetting to sell them. So we still have. I know, right?
Were
I
you
was
just
doing
giving them
sketches.
away, or did you just have them in the back and you forgot to put them out?
No, they were literally right next to me, and I was so busy talking and just having a good time meeting people that I just forgot. Some people were well ahead of that, and they bought them for me from me.
Did you think to put a sign up that said Prince $20?
No, not at all. I went
Oh
by
my
Graham
God.
Nolan's table and saw everything I was doing wrong.
Have you ever been to a convention before?
Yes, but a long time ago. But anyway, Phil brought him back. He still has them, and I think there's 50 left. I think he's saying. We did sell a few at the show, but there's 50 left, and I was like, well, this would be a great opportunity for anyone that didn't come to the show or missed me at the show. You can pick them up here on zadecomics.com. Just go to the shop. You'll see the Shank sign print. They're 11x17 in color. They're $20 a piece for just a regular one, or you can get a remarked for $60, which is a little doodle, and of course signed. And I'm going to sign them all, I believe. Does it say that? Signed by the artist himself? Yes.
Yeah.
and there's only,
you better sign it, pal.
So whatever it says on that ad, you have to do.
Yeah. And I believe there's only 10 remarked. So we're going to do 10 of those to make those more limited. So those will be a little special thing. If you want to get one of those, there's limited to only 10. There'll only be 10. And I'm a big man of my word, man. I'll never do another remark on one of these. I'll probably never sell this print again. So once these 50s are done, that's it. I'd like a little bit of a collector, a little bit of a something special about it.
Yeah.
Other than my fantastic artwork.
Of course. There's Zaid himself saying, grab Kelsey Shank prints right here. And there's a link in the chat. So you can just run over there and get a print.
Yeah. Shipping out after August 21st, he says. So right here.
There it is.
All right. Thank you very much.
That doesn't mean you'll get it after the 20th. It just says they're shipping out sometime after the 21st. It doesn't even say what year.
Yeah. That's true. Shipping after August 21st, 2082. Right. Oh. So thank you, everybody. Thank you
very much. David has is that all you got, Kelsey?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, all right. David has an art disaster he wants to share with us.
Oh, really?
We'll share that after. Let Gary go first. Let the
okay, go first. He's not ready, so we'll go to Gary. Gary, you've got
what?
Larry David, apparently.
That's great. For half a second, I was like, Aaron? Oh, no.
I've been doing portrait commissions, and I get a lot of odd requests.
Yeah.
So, yeah, here's one. Let's see.
Johnny Depp is Dark Shadows.
Yeah, and this one is done in a different. They're all done in different inking styles.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of the Frankenstein, right? Like in the kind of Bernie Wrightson-ish. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
And this one was a portrait of family members to the client, and they're not famous, so I could have completely got their likenesses wrong, and you wouldn't know.
Well, he's got flat tops haircut, man.
Yeah,
I wish I could pull off a haircut like that.
It was one of those sepia colored photographs. Yeah. That's how old it was.
Wow.
That I was working from.
This is almost weird. It's almost like they have the same face.
I know.
Well, that's how it used to be back in the day. It's funny. I watched this whole thing about people smiling in old photos. Like no one's smiling in old photos, and I was like, life was harder back then.
It took so long for the camera to work.
Oh, that's a good point.
You couldn't hold the smile while they were taking the photo.
Well, and they weren't happy either. So, like
that's true.
Out, it was a hard life. They're probably missing teeth.
Yeah,
and then of course.
Whoa!
Someone actually asked for that?
No, I did that on my own.
Oh, okay. David asked for that.
Yeah.
I need that hanging in front of me on my wall. Yeah. That's
awesome. To inspire me.
Of my face.
Those eyes are intense, man. Those are great.
I know. He's a terrifying individual. That's why he's not on camera.
That's the other side that you don't get to see. You usually see in the back of the head. And that's for a reason. He's too intimidating for screen.
That's right. Yeah,
he's got those Rasputin eyes, man.
Yeah, very
David,
cool.
are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right. Well,
take us by the hand.
I don't have a good art story like the other guys and stuff. I had a bad few art days. So I was doing like a test with these Copic refillable things, and I saw someone online,
Oh.
do this like kind of Kirby dot type thing where they just let it drip, and it creates like the Kirby dots and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, I want to try this on this Green Lantern piece that I did, last week, and and so I was gonna put like the Kirby dots all in these things, and then I was gonna paint over it and do the background, and it's gonna have this cool layered effect, so it'd feel more natural to have the Kirby dots and stuff.
I feel like we're building up to some bad news.
Yeah. I don't like where this is headed.
And here's a little test,
Okay, that looks like
and
it
it was
works.
kind of working. I said, okay. And I went to, Hobby Lobby to, possibly buy some Frisket and stuff. And they didn't have any. And I said, you know what? I don't need it. I think I could manage it. And so I taped off the original piece. And when I was drawing it, I was trying to do a color hold line. So I went around the whole entire thing like an animation cell and was doing like, instead of black, I was using green in all the green areas and purples and blues. And it looked really cool. And I was being really precise and tight and all this kind of stuff. So long story short, I go and do it and I start doing the Kirby dots, but it wouldn't stop bleeding. And so this is what I got, and this is what happened. It started
Like
going
101
all
Dalmatians.
into the live art, and I was having an unholy fit.
It looks digital somehow, like it's blurred.
Yeah. But I couldn't.
Weird.
I don't think I'd be able to fix this with paint, and so I have to start over, because once I was going to finish this and do the background, the coloring would have flew by and stuff. But now I have to go back and render all this stuff again and do this.
Well, I don't know if this is any consolation, but the piece ain't working all that well anyway, so it's probably for the best.
Yeah. So
Probably good
I want to
start over.
show people not all the successes that we have.
Oh,
you got to show these young artists that we fail, and we
More
and we
often than
crash and
not.
burn.
Yeah.
But this is what makes it brilliant on my part. I always do things. I have an underdrawing, so it didn't really. So I could just go back and trace it off again. That's why I always have this, and then I have another thing where I ink and do color or whatever. So
That was like a cue from Aaron's playbook. Then what makes it brilliant is that I
I'm rubbing off on him.
Yeah.
there you go, people.
Now I don't
I'm not
know.
perfect as you thought I was.
I don't know what prompted this, but Neil Orr says, I'm not grabbing Kelsey's shank no matter what you pay me.
Oh my
I don't
goodness.
know what's going on there, but
I'm grabbing it with both hands.
Hello. Oh, my prince.
Well, slow down. Hang on. All right. Well, I guess I should show some stuff because it's my turn.
Is it the
So let
fever
me
blister? What is it?
let me switch the old camera here.
Is it the liver spots?
You're-
Oh.
Yeah. Hey
I
now. Oh, I'd like to disagree with you, but I can't.
Ooh, that's looking cool
You
already.
lousy son of a...
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. As many of you
Wow.
might know, I am currently wrapping up the Wraith of God Blood Hunters 100-page book, and it ends on a Kit Carter Galactic Ranger story, and I've got a couple pages of that done that I'm going to share with you. This is page 9 or episode 9, because the way this is set up is that the each page is kind of supposed to be like a Sunday newspaper strip and formatted as a comic book page rather than like this. But so it has a little gag in it, but it's part of a larger continuity. But there's gaps in between each page because each one is a single episode. But anyway, so this is Phil Diaz sleeping in the spaceship.
Yeah. Everybody's like the likeness is uncanny.
He wakes up with a start. We see Kit is captive of Zing the Zealous. And what's Merv going to do? Looks like he's hitting the fridge first. But That's one page. That's episode 9, and here's episode 10. So we see that Kit's
Oh,
really in trouble now. She's hanging upside down over the pit of despair, waiting for Merv to help out.
that looks like some of that Wally Wood pornography I was looking.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got the tentacles and everything, and she is, of course, fully clothed, though, Kelsey.
That's fantastic.
Well,
Love it.
And I'll be coloring these myself, so
you'll know they get done on time. That's it.
Well, I don't know if that's going to be the case, but at least I know they'll get done and they'll look the way I want them to.
What are you
That's true.
So anyway, so that's what I've been working on is Kit Carter, and also
now,
drawing heads on this butcher paper.
Now David's having a problem being too quiet. He must have turned his mic.
What are you inking it with?
Yeah.
This is all combination of the Zig and the Micron.
Oh yeah.
I'm filling the blacks in with the Zig because the black ink in this Zig is much darker than. I mean, it's just like India ink. In fact, it's a little bit darker.
Could it be?
So I really like the this for just filling in blacks.
Is it Rapidograph ink like way like super dark? I mean,
it is dude. It is super.
Kelsey, just get yourself a set. Trust
me.
Look at how black that is.
I need to get some of those. Yeah.
Look at how black that is.
Yeah, that's looking good.
It's not gray at all, man.
Blacker than my heart.
Exactly. Squib wants to know, does Michaels or Hobby Lobby have the Zigs? I don't think so. I get them on Amazon. Isn't that where we got them at, David?
Amazon.
Yeah, they're like $15 or something like that for a package of 10 or something like that. So really affordable.
Great price. Holy cow.
I know, Kelsey. You have no excuse not to.
Yeah, I need to pick some of those up.
Say that
Aaron,
every week.
Aaron, Marcus.
I will surprise you when I get some.
What's that?
Marcus has a beef with you.
Let's see. Galactic Ranger. That's my own Captain Courage outfit from my dad's lawyer.
And my dad's a lawyer.
Oh, wait a minute. Galactic Ranger. That's my own Captain Courage outfit, and my dad's a lawyer. You know what? But your dad will still make you pay him for his time, and that's when you're going to say, you know what? This isn't worth it. When I make a buck on Kit Carter, I'll let you know. Speaking of which, that's the next campaign is the Kit Carter graphic novel. I've already got a guest cover done. It's hiding back there because I'm not going to show it until the campaign launches. And then I'll follow that up
Sure
with
you do.
No, I do. I didn't do it. I hired someone to do it, and he's very expensive, but very good. You guys will be freaking out when you see it, but I'm not showing it yet. And then after that, I'll return to Wraith of God 3, Fear Hollow. So I got publishing plans, man. Publishing plans. So.
Love it.
Oh, by the way, I hired a very famous painter to paint a mural on my ceiling. And I can't show it, but it was very expensive. And it's awesome.
Just wait. You just wait, buddy, Mr. Smartmouth. You just wait.
You guys are talking big, but I hire the best artist every time I do a book.
Yourself.
And he's super cheap. Yeah, he's me. I can tell him what to do. It's great. Get to work.
Usually. But does he do it? That's the thing.
Usually he's playing video games.
Reads comics and plays video games.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Never does the work he's supposed to. Kelsey, of course, is coloring the nightclub backup story in Wraith of God Blood Hunters and is almost done. So I'm very excited to see the rest of that.
Yeah, there's only a few things left to do.
Because we know Kelsey's a brilliant colorist, so we're all going to be excited to see that.
Yeah, but I'm not a colorist. So a colorist can just like, okay, here you do, put out colors, boom, it's done, there you go. And then, but like, it's like a searching process for me where I'm like, okay, it's kind of there. And then usually you add this one little bit on like the 4th page and you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then you want to go back and integrate it, all the rest of the stuff. So it's been like this little process of feeling it out. And yeah, thank you for the time. Even though I just took it, you didn't give it to me. But I do appreciate it. I want it to look the best it could be. You know?
Well, I do the same thing. That's my problem. That's why I'm such a slow colorist, is because everything is experimentation for me. There's nothing that I've learned that I'm just like, bam, 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 page is done. You know,
right?
It's
Except
all
for
like
flatting. I can do that pretty much.
Yeah, you put a color down and then you look at it.
Yes,
like,
right.
How does that work?
Yep,
pretty much
with it.
And then the next couple days or so, I might change that color and then look at it for a few more.
Depending on your mood.
Right. You might drop some ink on it and have to start over. I mean, stuff happens. You know?
I mean, I could draw a whole book before I could color like a book. You know, somehow that's just one of those things that, I don't know. You know it when you see it, kind of.
Mm-hmm. If it's working, it's working. If it's not, it's not.
Then
you got to figure out why it's not working. Creative Face says,
but I know good color when I see it.
Right.
Yeah. Creative Face says, with all the trolls I draw, I should be better at trolling. Well, they're two different art forms, really. So
yeah.
It takes practice. You'll get it.
What is that?
Just watch Malin. I think he's one of the best at trolling. So.
Wait a minute. Creative Face says, that's why I called him, meaning me, Aaron Dogman. He's been domesticated by Shelley. Well, that'll do it right there. Congratulations. You just got cannonballed.
Oh, dang, I felt that one. Holy
Why does that never get old?
It never does.
It's slapstick comedy, baby. It never gets old. Okay. All right. So are we gonna start the clock here and get rolling?
Oh yeah, I forgot what we were doing. We got to draw now. We have to perform.
Okay, so Kelsey, who are you doing again?
I think I'm gonna do Magnus.
Okay. David?
Green Hornet and Kato.
Oh, I thought you went to sleep. Then I'm doing Turok.
Ooh, another great one.
Dinosaur Hunter, baby. That's what I'm doing.
With a full dinosaur. Yeah.
Huh?
With a full dinosaur.
I am there, though. I have plans. Yes. We shall see if it comes. It depends on how much stuff you make me look up during the show.
Hey man, I'm drawing robots, so I don't want to hear nothing.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but they're more simple robots from the 60s, you know. They weren't those, they're not the complicated ones.
You just made my job a whole lot easier. I was thinking about a big complicated machine, and you just right. Thank you.
That's right. Just like those little robot helmet things. They got the light that flashes on top, and they got like, you know, piece of cake.
David, please draw Kato beating up Robin. I'm still not over that crossover, the Batman TV show.
Television show.
Oh, yeah,
with the Green Hornet show, and they all fought.
That'll be a private commission.
Kato and Robin fought to a draw. I was so mad when that happened.
Especially since Bruce Lee taught him how to do some fight moves for the Batman show, right?
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, he was like, that's what he says anyway. What's his name that played Robin? Said that, yeah, Bruce Lee gave him some like private lessons on how to throw kicks and things like that. And then they have him beat him up in the show. So yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Henry Bemis says you could really you could really go obscure with Dagar the Invincible, which was my second choice, but his outfit is like, he's got like a Fred Flintstone caveman thing on. I'm like, come on, that's not good enough. At least Turok has a little culture on him, you know.
He's got some bone necklaces and whatnot.
Yeah, and you know, he's
culture.
got stuff in his
that
hair,
kind of like
feathers.
Class up the word dagger, so like Dagger the Invincible is not that impressive, but Dagar the Invincible.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I would call it, Dagar, right? It sounds more cavemanish, more thuggish. So I got to get some paper.
Yeah, I need to go get some water. I drank all my brush water.
I saw you drinking all your paint water the other day on the show, and I was like, what are you doing?
That reminds me, I wanted to ask you guys, I get super thirsty while I'm working, and I figured out the other day why. I mean, I get, in the middle of the desert thirsty, and I figured out why just recently after all these years.
You leave your mouth in.
When I'm concentrating, I turn into a mouth breather.
Yeah, I knew it. I do the same thing. That's why I said that. I did the same
so
thing.
if I'm, mouth breathing over like period of an hour or so, I
That's
get barf.
hilarious.
Is that just me and Kelsey, or do you guys get thirsty too?
It's just you guys.
No, because I'll be moving my tongue like on my teeth and stuff like, with the tension of what you're doing, or like just trying not to. I don't know. I notice I do all kinds of weird things when I draw. So
I lick a salt block to concentrate. So that
years
part of my
ago,
problem.
when I visited Terry Austin, he was working. This was in the summer. He had this giant peanut butter jar filled with this green, beverage. And it's like, Terry, what are you drinking? Oh, that's limeade. And I said, is that a peanut butter jar? I said, yeah, it's because, it was like half a gallon. So it lasted him a long time. So apparently Terry Austin is also a mouth breather when he's.
That's no way to talk about Terry.
So I went home and promptly cleaned out my peanut butter jar. I thought I could be Terry Austin great, and that takes more than drinking limeade out of a jar.
Well, I would always be worried, when I was painting, because I had, I had all these things of water sitting around, and you're like, what if I grab the wrong one? And that's why I was accusing Kelsey of that, because he was, he always used like these old fruit jars to put your water in to, rinse out your brushes.
And my drinking glass looks very similar.
Yeah. Which one am I supposed to be drinking out of again?
I was just saying, I'm more impressed that Terry is a recycler, using a peanut butter jar to drink out of. I mean, it's pretty clever.
Yeah, I don't think he was considering the recycling angle. I think that was just the largest container he could find.
Oh, I can find bigger. My big gulps. I go to church. Look at it. Here, I actually have my church's chicken drink. Look at this. It's freaking enormous. You can find giant cups everywhere. I gotta get some water.
I thought you were going to say that was the drink you got at church, but not. It's like church's chicken, right?
I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. Dolomite. I'm just Kelsey, meeting you at Tampa this weekend was the highlight of the con for him.
And he's not even here to hear it. Oh well. What are you gonna do?
I'll repeat it when he comes back. Blackjack is asking if I wrote a letter, the original Fantastic Four 23 column from me. When was that published? Fantastic Four number 23, Aaron?
That would have been 1961 to 63 at the latest.
Okay, so I would have been like 7 years old. No, that was not me. I never wrote a letter to a comic book in my life. Did you guys ever write letters to comics?
I never did. As big of a Marvel zombie as I was, I never wrote a letter.
Kevin Grievous did. That's what inspired him to become a writer, because they published it in one of the books that he did.
I had people writing letters mentioning my work, and it wasn't always positive.
Wait a minute. What am I going to do here? I'm going to change my mind. I haven't got very far, though, so I can change my mind. My daughter, when she was little, used to read, what was that little, where they did the
all right,
Tiny Titans? Who are those two guys? I can't think of their names off the top of my head that did, it was like a little kids version of Teen Titans, but it was called Tiny Titans.
Benny and Cecil.
Close. Come on, you guys know.
Diaz and Brandon Diaz. Oh,
Marcus Killigrew says FF23 was February 1964. So there you
64. Okay, so I would have been 7 years old. I'm sorry. No, I didn't know how to write when I was 7 years old. I still don't. But.
go. Yeah, there you go. Squib says Art Belshazzar, Art, and yeah, that's the guy's name, but there's the other guy too. But anyway, I contacted him. She did this big elaborate drawing of like all the Tiny Titans. And so I contacted him and said, hey, would you guys run this in your book? And they said, sure. So I got huge dad points for getting them to run my daughter's
nice
drawing
nice.
in the letter pages of the book. So
let me repeat this. Since Kelsey's back,
Yeah.
again, I'm probably butchering this. Kelsey, you might know Limeade. Kelsey, meeting you at Tampa this weekend was the highlight of the con for him.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Meeting you was the highlight of my weekend as well. Thank you so much. Which one were you again? People were telling me their names. I'd be like, "Who are you?" And they tell me their real name. I'm like, you know. And then they're like, and then they'll say so and so online. I'm like, you know, like
yeah, exactly.
and then I'd forget. And there's like, I'm actually like I'd type Phil. I was like, what was this guy's name again? You know, I was like, because I just can't remember everybody, but I remember their faces so vividly. You know, being an artist and all, I suppose, but I remember people visually, and
yeah, I'm that way too.
And just it felt great. I mean, everybody was so just happy to be there. It was such a great time, man. I really.
How many
fun.
people came up to you that watch Graybeards?
Oh,
or your stream?
Almost all of them.
Really? You had that many?
I think everybody said they watched Graybeards that I met, and they loved the show.
It's the greatest show on the internet.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, it feels like they all said that. So, yeah, I'm glad everybody's watching. No pressure.
David, don't screw it up again.
And David, by the way, you weren't having a bad couple of days alone, because I was trying to do sketches and stuff, and anybody who was hanging out with me while I was drawing can attest. I was struggling because there was so much energy, and I was operating on very little sleep, and I haven't drawn like at a convention in a long time. And beyond that, I think I did okay with people's sketches and commissions at the show. But Chuck Dixon had his son bring his sketchbook by for me to draw in. And
that's pressure right there.
Oh my God, we started looking at it. Everybody hanging out with me at the table. We all just kind of started looking at the stuff. And you know, you had everybody from Dick Giordano's in it, Herb Trimpe, Rodolfo DiMaggio, Mark Texeira, Brian Stelfreeze, Graham Nolan's in there many times. Several
Was Aaron
times.
Lopresti in there at all?
I don't think so. I don't think Aaron's in there. You haven't earned that right yet. But keep going, kid. You'll get there. You'll get there.
One day, kid.
Oh, David Williams wasn't in it either. So you're looking at a true celebrity on this panel right now. I've drawn in Chuck Dixon's sketchbook. Or I should say I tried to draw in Chuck Dixon's sketchbook. It didn't go well. It didn't go well. So I stole it. And I took it home and I wrote him. I was like, I have your sketchbook. And
Can you
have
like,
it back for
you
a
like
small ransom.
hostage letter?
open it up and pass it?
You like cut letters out of a magazine.
I did.
Got your sketchbook.
But he was cool. He was very cool. I know, and everybody was backing me up at the show because his son came back. It's like, hey, where's Kelsey in the sketchbook? And everybody's like, who? What? You know? Yeah. So they were my accomplices in stealing Chuck's sketchbook. But I let him know. What was going on. I was like, man, I sucked it hard, and I had to come back for my paints. So maybe I can pull it out like I do with all the paintings on this, where I screw it up royally and give myself a couple days to kind of reconstruct it through some reconstructive surgery.
Well,
that's what I'm going to do.
Kelsey, you're the only guy I know. Most people do a drawing and they're like, yeah, this is really great. Then they paint it and ruin it. But you like do terrible drawings and you save them by painting them.
Well, it's my undo. It's my magic eraser, when you can, because you put down ink, you can white it out, all that stuff, but it just looks like inks with a bunch of corrections all over it. It looks like, oh, these screwed up all over the place. Yeah. But if you paint it, looks like you did it on purpose. It's all a scam. I mean,
Right. Sure, of course.
Oh, hold on a second. Backing up a little bit. Neil Orr says Gary never wrote a letter, but Mary Garton used to write monthly praising his work.
Yeah.
That Mary Garton girl.
I don't know. Who's that?
That lost me.
I inked one issue of Carmine Infantino's Flash. One issue. And the editor loved it, but DC hated it. So that was the only issue I got to do. But in the following, I guess it's like a couple issues later when they print the letters for that issue, I had one guy writing in telling me that how great it was. And then the very next letter, bring back the other inker, Gary Martin Scott. So back to back, build me up and then tear me down.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah. Isn't that how it always goes? Like I do this all the time where, I can have 100 different compliments on something, and I'm like, yeah. All right, thank you. And then you get that one person going, it's okay. And you're like, what do you mean it's just okay? Like, you can't let it go? What's wrong with it? What did I do?
What do you mean it's just okay?
Yeah. Explain it.
I had somebody during when people were trying to cancel me back when I launched Wraith of God the first time, and they apparently had read Garbage Man. And he said, I read Garbage Man. It could have been better. And then I said,
what does that mean?
I said
everything could be better.
Well, that's what I said. He goes, it could have been better. And I said, well, I guess that means it could have been worse too.
Yeah.
So I'll take that.
And listen to the snark. I would have been like, how? Explain. Exactly. And then waited for the 3-page letter, Do you guys hear? There was one guy, and I actually enjoy this. Anybody that takes the time to do such a thing. I mean, don't do it to me, but I do appreciate when I hear these stories from other people. Like Eric Canetti did an Iron Man series, and he got this one letter from a guy that was breaking down his work in that page by page, panel by panel, everything he did wrong. And he did everything wrong. So according to this guy. And he posted it online. It was we got to see kind of like what this guy was thinking. Apparently he was very much into the old school stuff probably and all that, but it was really funny how I find it charming because it's like, boy, I love seeing people really care about things like this. I mean, most people are really apathetic about things, so it's just neat. So I don't mind. I'm not going to listen to you, but I don't mind.
Well,
David, who are those guys that
there's sort of this etiquette, right, that you should have?
Yeah.
And what I used to get a lot when I posted on DeviantArt, you get like these art school students that either just graduated or about, and they just like rip your piece apart, and then you go and look at theirs. And you're just like, I come back and I respond, dude, you really should check yourself before you start worrying about criticizing other people. And I got a few people mad at me for that, but it was like, you just don't do that. If someone posts something online, if you don't like it or you think something's wrong with it, you don't say anything. If you like it, you say something. If someone says, hey, what do you think of this? Then that opens the door for your opinion.
Yeah.
But there's sort of this, and I know just by posting it, you're soliciting opinion, but there is an etiquette. I mean, you're going to get that from fans, but other artists, There is an etiquette.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you don't go into a gym and you're working out and you see some guy doing curls or something and you don't go up to him and go, "Hey, buddy, you're doing that wrong." You don't do that. If someone says, "Hey, I'm sure I'm doing this exercise right. Do you know how to do this?" Then you instruct them.
Haven't you ever heard of see something, say something? I mean, that guy in the gym could have crushed his own larynx with doing it wrong.
No, I never do that. I never did that. And then when guys did it to me, I would crush their larynx, and that was it. And no one ever came and messed with me again. I'll tell you that right now.
So anyway, I'm real. I really wish you guys were all at the show, and I think we need to really work on trying to all get to one show together to do a live Graybeards. Can you guys pull that off?
No, but thanks for asking.
No, you can't do a live Graybeards. Is that too much?
No, it'd be it would be a great thing to do if we could all get together at the same show.
Yeah,
I do very few shows anymore. I'll be in Houston in October if you want to, meet me there.
Houston, and you're going to Anime Matsuri?
What? Yeah, sure I am.
Oh,
I'm the guest of honor.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought that was the only show in Houston right now.
I'm gonna give a unwanted critique of anime. No, they're Bedrock City's doing their first show.
Would you ever consider Tampa?
When I lived there. Now it's like, do I want to fly all the way across country? I'm like, yeah, not really.
it's a long way. Yeah,
I drove 14 hours.
I would rather drive 14 hours and fly across country right now, because at least then I can get out whenever I want to and eat like a hamburger if I see a place that looks interesting.
I would.
Yeah,
agree.
drive. It's a lot of fun. I'm
in Oregon, dude. It's a 3,000-mile drive from here to Tampa.
No problem. Come on, you can stop at my place along the way.
You're
take you out to eat
there. So by the time I get to your house, I'm pushing through, man.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
New Mexico would also be a stop.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's right. You can stop and pick us both up. Gary, and then we could swing by Gary's. It's a little out of the way, but we can go get him too.
Well,
and then head down
zigzagging
to
Florida. Hey, they got the Rose City Comic Con.
I live 30 minutes from Aaron.
Just so you know, I'm about to have a bad rainstorm, and I already saw my lights flicker. So hopefully it hangs in there.
So you're gonna
so you're setting up. If you don't like what you're drawing, just turn out the light and say,
"Am I that transparent?" Yeah.
Is he gonna pull a Stroman on us and just say no? Right.
I'm already liking this. I'm already winning. So I mean, it'll be in y'all's best interest.
Can you guys recap who you're doing?
Magnus Robot Fighter.
Turok, Son of Stone.
A hot mess.
You can always count on David for that.
I mean, I can see what he's doing. It looks
by the way?
awesome. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's just,
Aaron,
Except for that one
Stone?
thing. I don't know if you're going to keep that.
What's that?
Who's Stone?
Isn't that Turok's dad? It was Turok, Son of Stone, is what it was called at Gold Key.
So he was. Never mind.
Yeah, don't you know what you're talking about, Gary? Jeez.
No, I mean, that's
thought
like
you knew comics.
Yeah, Gary. Please.
I'm Brack, son of L.
Yeah. Well, no, they had
I'm son of that big tree.
Do you remember Og? Do you remember Og, Son of Fire? Huh?
No.
Classic. I had a big little book that I found. The only thing I found at my grandfather's estate when he passed away and we went back to Nebraska to kind of like go through his things and everything. As a little kid, you're going, I'll bet he has a stash of Action Comics #1 somewhere in here. And
yeah, that's the fantasy.
But he did have a big little book, Og, Son of Fire.
Well, they're paid for your college right there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the problem was apparently it was my dad's, and he had taken a nail and hammered a nail right through Og's mouth through the entire book.
So your dad had something against Og?
Yeah, I guess so. I was like, thanks a lot, Dad. This is worth $20, and now look at it.
Yeah, I had a cousin who had this great collection, early Spider-Mans and Fantastic Fours. And he told me, "Oh yeah, they're in a dresser drawer in the garage. You can help yourself to them." I sprinted out there, and apparently his garage had mice,
Oh
Oh.
no!
and they
The
were
horror.
nesting in like Spider-Man #10, and I mean they were completely
That's
worthless.
awful.
Yeah, and it was like probably had maybe 50 issues of various early Marvels.
Oh, that's terrible.
Um,
Darn mice.
one of the not to change the subject, but I'm hoping to delay Aaron a little bit because I see him making some good progress up there. I saw. Why weren't you on Professionals last night?
I had to. Okay,
Was that last
I
night?
was supposed to host it, and then my daughter was in Phoenix for a week, choreographing some dance numbers for a dance studio. And so I said, "When are you coming back tomorrow?" Anyway, and she goes, "Oh, my plane lands at 4:30, which is right exactly in the middle of Graybeard's."
Oh,
And I'm the designated driver in the house right now, and so I had to go into Portland. And Gary, you'll appreciate this. Trying to get from Tigard to the airport at even leaving the house at 3:30.
Oh, forget about it.
Yeah, it was a 3-hour round trip, and that was, I thought, went pretty well. Because the last time I went to the airport about that time when I flew to San Diego, I almost missed my flight because it took me over 2 hours to get from my house. In fact, it took me 2 hours and 30 minutes to get from my house to the gate.
And
When I walked up to the
faster
gate,
to fly down to San
Yeah.
Diego than to drive.
yes, it took the
Yeah.
exact amount of time it took to fly from Portland to San Diego as it did to drive from my doorstep and get to the gate. It was unbelievable. It's like mini LA.
I don't know
up here
about
with
you
traffic.
guys. I've lived all over the country, and I'm convinced that Northwest drivers are the absolute worst.
No, Northwest. I went to when I went to Oregon. I lived there for a little while in Portland, and I lived outside of Portland, and I came in and had to go through that big tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm from Texas, where when you put your blinker on, it's a warning. I'm coming over. Get out of my way. You know what I mean? Like it's not a request.
Well, at least they're giving you a heads up.
Yeah, but there, I put on my blinker and I'm ready to fight, and they would slow down and flash their lights. It's okay, you can come over, and I'm like, what?
Well, that's one of the problems is they're too courteous, and that causes
Oh.
traffic jams.
Oh,
You
okay.
go, no, you go, no, you go.
That's when Gary whips around. I'm
I
like,
don't
"I'll
drive
go."
like that.
Exactly.
I'm like,
Get out of my way,
and
I'm
do
coming
drive.
I almost got
Uh-oh.
in an accident. Two idiots were slowing down on an on-ramp to the freeway. They were slowing down, trying to allow the other person to go, and all the other cars accelerating behind them, trying to get on the freeway, didn't appreciate it.
Well, you're right, man. When I was in LA, that's how you turn on your blinker and you went for it, right? And it's like, you better
Right.
get out of my way. And what I was driving when I was in film schools, I had an old Ford 1972 F-150.
Oh, yeah.
It was just beat to heck, and nobody in their Porsche wanted to get hit by my F-150. So when I started changing lanes, man, they
More
let
because
me
it's
in.
embarrassing, right? Like that's
Yeah.
more the, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think I'm getting some flack in the chat. I don't think California has the worst drivers. The Californians, they're very aggressive, but they're also skilled.
Yeah.
So they can dart in and out of traffic. You can't do that here.
They're all Hollywood stuntmen.
Yeah. Well, I would put San Antonio in the hat for worst drivers. No. Actually, take that back. They're the most kind of they're not really paying attention, but Atlanta, they cannot stay in their own lane to save their life. There was this road right in front of my house where the people coming from this way had their own lane that they can go into, and the people turning right can turn into their own lanes, so that when there's a lot of traffic, you can both, if you're good, you could both pull in at the same time. Well, I used to walk to the store all the time, and I'd be waiting for traffic to pass, and they would inevitably always cross over. And I don't know, I've seen several wrecks where people just smash into each other, and they've done it so much that the line that was dividing the two, it was gone. It was now a dotted line because so many people were driving over it. And that's not the only case. I rode home from the airport with a Bohampton. And Bohampton.
With Bohampton or with a Bohampton?
No, with the Bohampton.
Before you clarify that.
Great guy. He was a great guy, but he spent most of the time.
A Bohampton impersonator. He was a great
No. He spent most of the time looking in the back seat, talking to us while driving forward. So, and I was just like, look, there's a car, and he's just like, just. He's got one arm over the side of the chair looking back at us. Yeah, so there's this thing. And, it was like, oh, my God, we're going to die. But it was all like that. Those are two incidences, but it was like constantly like that. It was like, oh, my God, we're going to die.
That looks like it started something in the chat. Everybody's announcing, where they're from and that they're the worst.
It's all bad.
Yeah. No, we're the
Blackjack says we invented freeway shootings in California for a reason.
Yeah, okay.
David
Can't
G
argue
says,
with
I
that.
agree with Kelsey. Atlanta has some of the worst drivers I have ever seen.
They don't stay in their own lane. But the best driving, if I might say, might have been Utah. For one thing, they have the widest lanes I've ever seen in my life. You could fit two cars side by side in one lane. So you got a lot of room to kind of just drift around. And they were very polite. And mostly it was great driving because there's not a lot of people there.
Yeah,
so there's
not a
real
lot of
open
traffic.
space.
Yeah, not a lot of traffic.
I don't know any other place. Everywhere else I've been has been awful. San Antonio, you be driving down. I drove like half a mile an hour through parking lots because people will just back out. They don't like back out slowly and look. They just back out of the parking spot. So you had to have your head on a swivel like all the time.
In San Antonio, huh?
Yeah. I think it's because it's a large older population there. There's a lot of retirees and whatnot. They're just not paying attention.
No.
They just back out of their parking spot.
We were thinking of moving there, so maybe that's the right spot for me.
Are you really thinking about moving there?
Well, actually, my brother-in-law, they moved there just outside of San Antonio, and they really like it.
I like it. It's a very slow pace of life that has tremendously good food, especially if you like Mexican food. It's really good.
That's
Hard
what
to
I'm
beat.
hearing.
Yeah.
That's what he's always going to some roadhouse type place where a band is playing. And
Yeah. It's only an hour from Austin, so you don't have to live in the crazies in Austin. But if you want to have like a night out, at an hour out to Austin, there's all kinds of cool stuff to do.
Where's this again?
San Antonio.
San Antonio?
Yeah. And I lived there many years working with Antarctic Press, and right outside, like they have a big medical school there. So
Antarctic Press has a medical school?
Yes, exactly. The Antarctic Press Medical School, where I got a doctorate in bull crap. I
got a doctorate in BS.
Yeah, I got a BS in BS. Yeah.
Hold on. Blackjack says that's because in Utah they have more than one wife constantly nagging them. They need room to weave in the lanes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Goodness.
that's good.
I
was on an airplane once. This years ago when I was a youngster, going to cons, a young professional, or believed myself to be a young professional.
Horse-drawn carriage days.
Yeah. I'm the dawn of the age of comics.
Yes.
And I don't think I'm going to tell this story because it doesn't go anyplace.
Oh,
It had something
okay.
to do with Utah, but I'm thinking about it. There's no payoff to this story, so I'm going to end it right here.
Great story. Great story.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
Hey, it was only
I
going to
tip
get
my
worse
hat
from here.
to you, Aaron, for self-editing.
Yeah, I know. It's like I started thinking about it, like, oh, I got a Utah story. Then I started thinking over it in my head, and I go, this isn't really a story.
Well, there's a story that I want to hear about. Since you weren't, there's a photo they showed on Professionals of You, and it's
Yeah.
the one thing that made me. I was like, man, I want to hang out at a con with Aaron, and I wish he was there. It was a photo of you looking very dapper, very handsome, with one of the most delicious looking glasses of beer I think I've ever seen.
Well,
What
here's
was
what
it beer?
happened.
That was
At
that
the
was.
con, he had a
I don't know where it was. That's why I was wondering. I was like,
mug
where is
of beer
Aaron?
at his table.
No, I went to now I'm gesticulating instead of drawing, so Kelsey has won again.
That's the Italian.
I was at dinner with Billy Tucci, right? So he's like, we're doing dinner Friday night. You want to go? And I'm like, of course. So I show up. We're at this place. It's called the Lions, not Victim, but the Lions, like,
Oh, nice name for a restaurant.
The slaughtered lamb.
yeah, something like that. But it was like the Lions. What was it
The
called?
bloody
The Lions
Shank.
dinner.
Yeah, something like that. But it was all like wild game, that was like you could get duck or you could get, they had frog legs, which I thought was very interesting. Elk, buffalo, a wild boar, that kind of thing.
Mm.
So I'm sitting there with Billy Tucci and Deb, and then J.C. Vaughn from the Gemstone Publishing, the Price Guide, and Dave Stevens' sister was there, of all people.
Oh, I met her not too long ago at a local show.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was very
had
nice.
a bunch of Dave's originals.
Oh,
Yes. And a couple other guys, I can't remember their names now. It was Mike and there was Steve. I can't remember their last names, but they were brothers. And they were there. And so I was sitting there thinking, man, we're going to be eating, like, they're out there killing wildlife just to feed me. I got to have like a dark, like Bavarian beer or something to go with this. It just felt like the right thing to do.
Or like mead.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what I ordered. I said, what do you got? What do you got? A dark beer? And he just said something. I don't even know what it was. I said, bring me one of those.
Sure, yeah.
Make it quick.
In a flask.
Yeah, exactly. And
You don't want to act like you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, sounds good. Take one of those.
Yeah.
Haven't had one of those in a while.
yeah, it was like Conan, bring me a flagon of wine, wench. And so he brings me this dark beer. It was actually really good. And I had wild boar bolognese, or however you pronounce that.
What?
Wild boar balls? What is
Balls and hands?
Well, it's written like bolognese, but it's pronounced
Bolognese.
And
I'll take
it was
the
like
bolognese
it was like it had like noodles
with
and
gravy.
wild pig in there and all sorts of stuff. So I was squealing when I hit it with my fork, but it was good. And the dark beer really helped kind of put it all together. So there you have it.
Do you have the photo?
Maybe
Show the
we
photo.
could dig
Let's
up the photo.
Let's share to the audience. Yeah.
I don't know that I do. It wasn't mine. Billy took it. So
It's not working, Kelsey.
I'm trying.
Yeah, let's see the photo. Let's see that cover that you're bragging about by Mysterious Artist.
David G says Lopez and his wild hog balls.
He's just a virile man. What can you say?
Yeah. So I was like, I'm a beer a year guy, literally, and that was my beer for the year.
So you're due.
Yeah. Well, I was due. I haven't had a beer in a long time, and that's why I thought, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out on a limb here and have a dark beer. It was heavy. It was almost like a meal unto itself.
What about cigars? Like, would you have?
No.
enjoyed a nice cigar at Graham Nolan's cigar party?
I've never had one. I might have puffed on one, taken a couple puffs, but I don't know that I would have smoked an entire cigar.
That was fun. That whole thing was a lot of fun.
See, I would have gone to that, but as long as I could bring like a bubblegum cigar.
Yeah. There was no anybody you could smoke or drink if you want to. I mean, nobody's pressuring anybody to smoke. It was more of a reason just to kind of hang out.
They're like, do it.
Yeah, oh yeah. We were pushing everybody. We had the chug a beer thing. We were really.
If they had a bong, I'd have been. I've been taking hits off that, but not going to smoke it.
They had that at the castle. That was a.
Oh yeah. That was a little. That was a little edgy for me, I think.
Yeah. Only the bong was someplace you probably didn't want to smoke it. So.
You guys better
start. It rhymed with bong anyway. What?
You guys better, stop talking to each other and start asking David some questions because he's kicking A over here.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I just figured he'd start over at some point.
Yeah, or he's just gonna. No, what David will do is he'll just stop. And he'll just go, I'm done, and I'm not going to do anymore.
Yeah.
Kick back and have a sandwich while we're just like
he has to
laboring
refill
away.
his peanut butter jar.
Yeah,
exactly. There you go.
Well, I mean, okay, here's a question for all of y'all, really. This was a really fun convention. Fun for the camaraderie and everything. It wasn't a great convention for comics, but it was for us. Like we were selling comics, that people were coming by buying comics. We were going on the hunt for dollar comics. I mean, we were having fun. But
how much time did you spend at your table?
Most of the whole show. I was only there for like 2 full days, and most of the time in the show I was at the table. But
you forgot to sell anything.
Exactly. Yeah. I was having fun talking to people, enjoying myself. But in that way, it was like not a great con for comics, but a great con for all of us and all of us hanging out. And I was curious, like, do you guys remember like a really significant con where you got to meet people and like this one that's like one that you remember had a lot of fun at? Like, you have any con experiences?
Well, I'll tell you this, San Diego.
You've been to a lot of them over your 100.
I was going to say San Diego this year was one of the best cons.
Really?
San Diego cons I've been to in ages. It was really, really good. Had a good vibe to it. Talked to a lot of people. It was good fun. But
I think I'm with you, Aaron, that I relate the success of the con in terms of fun in how much money I've made.
Yes.
It's never about who I've talked to, who I've met, what I've seen. It's always about, did I pay for the trip?
Right.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm getting at is that there's trips where, it might not have been a financial goal, but you like got to hang out with, Aaron Lopresti all weekend or whatever.
Well, that's something.
For lack of a better one.
Well, I mean, there's cons where I've met people and there's moments in cons, but the funny thing is I remember of all the cons I've been to, I remember going when I was 16. Now, Gary, you weren't in Oregon, right? In your youth, you were in Northern California. Well, Richard Finn, right?
Yeah. Well, I went to a lot of his shows,
right?
But that was like in the late '90s,
right? Well, it was early '90s because we were at a show when I tagged you to
in the '90s. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, so I went when I was 16 to one, and they used to have it at the Masonic Temple downtown. And
that sounds sketchy right there.
Yeah. Well, they
still have that show. It happens every weekend.
Yeah, they sacrificed goats before the show started, but other than that, it was pretty much a regular.
It's on the first weekend of every month.
Yeah.
Every blood moon. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, so they would have, and it was a cool old building, had this big lobby area, or I don't know if what would you call it? It was a big open area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it was big. It was big enough
Mezzanine.
to have. It was
mezzanine. There you go.
It was big enough to have a con on, right? Like maybe a ballroom or something. Maybe when they did their Satan worshiping, they could bring a crowd in, and the If there's any Masons in the chat, I'm just joking, of course. I don't know anything about that.
They're going to show up at your door.
Yeah.
But it had this had big open floor on the bottom, and then there was like you had stairs up on the sides that would take you up to this balcony that circled the convention floor, and they had dealers. They had a dealer's floor. The whole downstairs was filled with dealers, but then they had dealers up on the balcony too, right? And I just remember that was the first time I actually ever went to a show when I was 16, and you would go in there, and other than the buyer's guide, which I got weekly, right, that weekly newspaper, I wouldn't know what the heck was coming out. And so you would see stuff like books that Barry Smith did or Wrightson did or somebody like that. And you had no idea it was even going to be there. I discovered the Frankenstein portfolios just because someone had them at their table, you know, and it was Golden Age dealers, you know. So it was the first time I saw like a old timely, and a guy had this like tons of ECs and things like that. And I'll never forget that show because it just blew my mind that I had access to all this stuff. But there was no, you know, I didn't meet any, you know, artists or anything like that. It was just kind of that thrill of, you know, for the first time seeing all this really cool stuff that you didn't really know existed.
We kind of missed a super chat on a different topic.
I'll go back and we'll revisit that. This is the Son of Liberty Radio for $2. Kelsey's wrong. Most tarded drivers are in Houston.
I'll agree because I spent like 16 hours trying to drive just through Houston once, but it was on Christmas Eve, so it was my fault. But
that might have been, you might have been asking for it. But thank you for the $2, Son of Liberty Radio. And sorry we didn't get that sooner, but your complaint has been registered and noted. So Houston is not the place you want to drive, apparently. But that's where I'm going for my show. So in October, but I won't be driving. Someone else will be doing that. But as far as, and I remember Gary, did you ever go to San Diego when it was in the old building?
No, that was before my time.
That was a trip, man.
I've not attended San Diego as a fan. It was only starting in the 80s, mid 80s, I think. Is when I became a professional is when I started going.
David, you had something you were going to say?
I said I love that building.
Yeah, it was great because they had on one side they had like all the dealers and stuff in this huge room, right? It was the biggest con I'd ever seen in my life, and this was back in '87, I think, the first time I went. And then on the other side of the hall, they had this other big ballroom area, whatever, that had all the publishers in it, right? And everybody had set up their, you know, there was a Marvel booth, DC, and they had all the, you know, the indies that were going strong at that time, like Comico or Comico, however you pronounce it, First, Pacific, you know, Dark Horse, they were all set up there. So it was really cool that you could go over there and show your portfolio and then go, you know, buy an old Spider-Man comic. And they had the Artist Alley all the way in the back. And so when I started working at Marvel, just doing like what the stories randomly, I figured, well, I'm a pro. So I got myself a table, Artist Alley table in the back there. And so I went to 3 cons at that, in that building. And it was way better for me just because it was a comic book show, but it was like a massive comic book show. And you didn't have all the Hollywood garbage that we do now. But those are pretty fond memories for me as well, except there was a group of S&M guys that were all dressed up in leather and had dog collars on everybody that one show. And I was like,
oh, you would have loved Tampa.
They wouldn't leave you alone.
Yeah, well, no, they were. I was dodging them, but it was like, yeah.
They were recruiting.
Yeah, kid from Oregon seeing that going, what in the world am I looking at here?
See, there's a comic book story right there, Aaron. Lopresti dodging the leather boys.
Jetta Jago says, old building is now called the Community Concourse. There you go.
Oh.
And that's the Leather Boys headquarters.
The deviants, so like Wraith of God, deviants. Beware.
Wraith of God deviants.
Beware. Not just.
Oh, I see. Wraith of God's going after the deviants.
Yes.
Oh, I was about to say, there's no way to talk about your backers. That's...
No.
And I was going to say no.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Could you get like a S&M leather thing in the Old West? Probably didn't exist back
Well,
then.
no,
did
and
it?
then he could say, "Hey, you think you're only person who wears black leather here? It's Wraith."
Shelley, now that you're here,
Yes.
and we're talking about San Diego, it reminds
Yes.
me. Years ago, we were all at San Diego, and we went out to dinner afterward. A lot of people were at the table, and this was after we're trying to figure out how much everybody owed on the check.
Yes,
And
that was always my job.
You and Randy Emerlin got in a big argument
Oh, shocker!
because Randy was trying to tell you how much tip everybody was supposed, and you're like, Randy, I'm a teacher. I majored in math. And Randy was drunk, and he wasn't buying what you were saying, and he wouldn't leave it alone. And I don't remember the convention at all, but I remember laughing really hard at that.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well, what's funny this year, Aaron sent me a picture of the bill and said, "Everyone wants to know if you can figure out how much everybody owes for it." I was like, even though I'm not there. Yeah,
that's your job.
That's my job. Always figure it out, and then how much tip everybody owes on that, and how much
But
the tax
you know,
was.
for Randy to argue with you, and he was, like I said, he had a few too many.
Yeah,
drinks.
but are you surprised at all that Randy would get into an argument like that?
No.
Well, and then
about
you know
that,
how many
that.
times I've had to say, I have 2 degrees in math. I think I can figure out a restaurant bill. Thank you very much. Yeah.
But you're a woman.
Exactly. You know how many times I've heard, and I remember like in college, my mom would be like, "Well, honey, why don't you bring home friends from school?" And I go, "Mom, I'm a math major. Do you know I was only one of 3 women at Oregon State at the time as a math major?" So I'm like, "Yeah, no."
You're saying there wasn't a lot of hot guys in the math major department there?
No, negative.
Say math people don't have friends, Mom. Jeez, you know that.
Yeah.
What I'm remembering is that Randy thought that he should be paying less on the tip, and that's
I'm sure
Yes.
that's what it was.
Yes.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And I was like,
But that was very.
Shelley's on. If you don't pay what I tell you, you got to.
I was sitting in between you two.
Yeah.
I was sitting in between you two, so I was highly amused.
Oh, that is so funny.
He's
Well, I
just
hate
thinking,
to
"Well, it's not me."
then say, yeah, I'm smart. I can do that because I now have to confess how incredibly stupid I can be. Is I thought that the air conditioner went out in my car.
Oh no, yeah.
Okay, so I'm like driving to my appointment, going, "Oh my gosh, great! This is all we need now." And then on the way back, I realized that
You hadn't plugged it
I
in.
had it cranked for the AC, but the wrong way. So I had a full heat.
Oh.
So I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm dying." It is like, why is it
It's just
blowing
cold.
hot
She goes,
air?
it's like 86 degrees in this car.
I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then I look down, and I've got sunglasses on, so I can't see the colors really. And then I go, "Wait, I had it cranked all the way to the right.
Oh my god.
Why don't I try the other way?" And then I was like, "Oh, that's what AC feels like."
That's what AC magically works again.
Yeah.
Where's Shelley? She's pushing on the door that says pull, she's
Yeah.
trying to get in.
Oh,
I'm totally determined to get this door open.
Totally me. And then I was like, "Do I confess
Well, I'm
how
glad you came
stupid I
clean.
am?"
That's hilarious.
Shelley, for full disclosure, I had a similar thing where I had the air conditioning on, and I rarely use it because I'm such a cheapskate. But it was that hot. I had it on, and I was still sweating. And it's like, why am I so hot? It's just like, so
Yes.
hot. This is not working. And it took me a while to figure out I had my seat heater cranked up.
Oh my gosh.
And
My
my
face is
back,
cool,
and
but my butt's
I was
on
just
fire.
like dripping with sweat. It's like, and
Oh
it
my
took me
gosh,
like
that's funny. I was
My
just like,
face is
"Oh my
coming out.
gosh."
My ass is
My
killing me.
car is older. It's a 2016, but I don't even have 28,000 miles on it yet. So I'm like, what a great week for my car. I get hit in a parking lot
By an old lady.
by an old lady, and then now my AC's out. And so then I'm planning, like, I guess when they're fixing the damage, they can do the AC. I don't know. I was just problem solving the whole way. And then I was like, wait a minute. I think cool is to the left. So, and then I couldn't figure out why the AC button kept going off. And I was like, what the? And I'm sweating. I'm like, the windows are rolled down. I'm like a dog with my head out the window. It's 90 degrees out there. So that wasn't even that. Oh my gosh. And I run warm anyway. So like I thought I was going to melt.
Well, I was thinking you were hot, but you know.
Other than that, that would be more
You guys
fun.
remember those in the old days when your radiator wasn't working? You had to turn your heater on.
Oh yeah.
And the reason why the radiator wasn't working because it was hot and it couldn't handle the heat. And so to help it, you had to turn your
Oh
heater
my gosh.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
my first car
to
was
draw the
convertible.
heat from the radiator.
I remember going to film school in my dad's 1963 Mercury Comet and going up the Grapevine on I-5 and just watching that temperature gauge just keep going up and up and up.
Can I make it? Can I make it?
You know, and you're going about 20 miles an hour. You know, there's smoke coming out or steam coming out from underneath your hood. And, you're like, and then thank God I made it to the top. And then I just coasted down the last like 30 miles, you know, where you're going downhill again into LA and let the car recover. Oh,
okay,
man.
well, this one wins.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, Shelley, to read this.
Yes.
What?
This one wins.
Oh.
I tell you what's hot, sitting in a porta potty in Iraq trying to take a dump while losing 20 pounds sweating.
Yeah.
Now, I could do the 20 pounds.
I bet that smelled pretty good too.
Oof.
Oh my God.
You win.
Heat. Ugh.
That is hilarious.
Well,
Well, and I
Tampa
will say
both
too,
was hot, and I lost a lot of water weight, and it smelled like a porta potty. So,
other than
and
that,
all
it was
of those.
great.
When they say
Test Chimp is a math major.
Who
I'm
is?
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Who is?
Test Chimp. And then what else was I saw another one.
Well, I'm
that was-
sure you were good looking, Test Champ, or are good looking.
Well, it
What does that mean?
it would seem like a good idea at the time, but I wish I'd gone into like actuary stuff or I don't know.
Tell them when someone asked or told you that maybe you should become an engineer.
Why would I want to drive a train? That's little old Shelley.
Yeah,
I was so like I didn't know anything.
Shelley,
You know,
are you
so-
crazy? Driving a train would be awesome.
Yeah, it was.
I know. Well, when it said, and then I was really confused because the aptitude test said, you know, my strengths could be in medicine or something else, and then engineering, and I was like, medicine or drive a train? What? Like I was supposed to be, and of course couldn't Google anything because there was no such thing. And then
You could
like
be a
my
brain
parents,
surgeon.
my parents
or
barely
drive a
graduated
train.
high school. I didn't have
Well-
anybody to ask what it was, so I made sure Joshua knew what an engineer
We
was.
could be rolling in money right now if you've
I
been
know.
an engineer.
Gosh, I'm so dumb.
A train engineer.
But yeah, I
Train engineer.
I had a friend that went into the military a long time ago. He ended up going to the Gulf War way back in the day, but I think he volunteered, you know, signed up because he, you know, get the GI Bill and all these other things. And he signed up because he saw engineer and he was thinking that he would get to drive like a military train or something.
oh gosh.
Turns out in the Gulf War, he was clearing minefields and stuff the whole time.
Oh, that-
geez.
That's what an engineer
When
does.
you make
as well.
mistakes like that where it's life and death, I that one I didn't do. But I was like, why didn't I ask anybody? Like I went, and then every time somebody would bring that up, but really, I only went to college to play volleyball. I didn't really care
Yeah.
about the rest of it. So when they asked, you know, like I had to declare, in fact, Oregon State said, you can't come back until you declare a major. And I was like, oh, I can't major in volleyball. Okay. So my dad said, well, you should, you know, why don't you do teaching? That way you can coach. And I said, okay. That was my entire thought process of going into teaching.
So she became a teacher and married an artist. So
I know.
Smart.
One of us should have married better.
Yeah.
But in fact, when my doctor said you can't go back to work full time after my fourth back surgery, I was like, but wait, I married an artist.
I have
I
Yeah.
did the same thing. I went to college to play basketball. My class schedule was like, art classes, archery,
Yeah.
gym. I mean, that's
Mine was weightlifting, health.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, yeah, I guess I should take calculus and stuff. Yuck.
Yeah.
I thought it would be easy. I took a class on exercise physiology
Yeah.
as just like a filler class. Holy crap, that was one of the hardest classes I ever took.
Yeah.
But I found out how much body fat I had. Not how much I have now, but how much I had then. It was a little bit different story back then.
Bear Wolf, you have
yeah.
some
Could you read Beowulf again?
stories.
Shelley, could you read Beowulf?
Yeah. So I signed up for infantry, and the Marine Corps ended up getting command control electrician. I thought I was going to be an electrician, ended up being a radio operator with a
Yeah.
2-foot target on my back.
Oh, that's
Those
true.
are some big, those things I would ask. Like now I'd be like, I don't want to, back then I was like, oh, I don't want to look stupid.
Yeah. No
But
problem.
now that's like the best part of my day is
But looking stupid.
looking stupid.
Look, you save yourself a lot of trouble looking stupid.
Yeah,
go
I
for it.
just- And then I always go, well, I guess if it's funny, I'll take it. But yeah, just this last one was like, seriously, the maximum heat that my car would put out of the heater
You were
on a 90
experiencing-
degree day.
You
yeah.
were experiencing it.
That's probably one of the top ones for me.
That's classic.
Yeah.
It's going down in the Ultimate Shelleyisms book.
Yeah, we even have a term for it. Wow.
All right, I'm inking. How much time we got left?
47
An hour.
minutes.
You got
An hour.
Hmm.
What do you wait? What, Kelsey? Are you see? You're skipping the inking process. You just go right to the paint.
It's that. Yeah, he went from pencils to
I
color.
like that response. What? No, wait. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
You're
You're cheating.
Oh, this is funny.
You could do that?
First day of engineer school. Where's my train? Yeah. I look good in stripes. So, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's
where's
almost
that? I
like
signed up for engineering school for the hat.
Oh my gosh. So dumb. But yeah, I remember thinking I could be making money. And then they think, oh, you get summers off. That's a great deal. No, because then you end up having to I had to go to grad school, of course, in the summers for 7 straight years. And then most people end up having another job, or you just sleep the entire summer to recover. So I don't know what I was
Kelsey?
thinking.
Kelsey, you see this?
Clean water.
Yeah, you don't drink this. This is
Oh.
I'm going to use this to wash my brush out.
It's
with.
too small.
I was just thinking,
It's too
asking
small.
in my head if you're going to drink it.
No,
I think you should clean your brush out and then drink it.
that's what Kelsey does.
No.
Hold on a second. Matt Hemp says that how can Kelsey cheat if it's not a competition?
Right.
What now?
Well, it's not a competition, but there's still, like moral rules that we should be following just as human beings.
There's ethics, damn it.
The moral imperative of
there's ethics,
drawing
that's
it, making
right.
it before you paint it. My
Oh
God,
my gosh, that is
you're
so
skipping
funny.
steps.
Now, Kelsey, look at
That's
this.
like after the speech of
Oh my gosh, Kelsey.
art etiquette that Aaron gave at the beginning. Art etiquette, you don't skip.
That's
inking.
right.
Oh wait, the orange fell out.
Oh,
Aaron bought these, and when he got home, I go, "Are you trying to be Kelsey?" And he goes, "Yeah."
$6. Let's see what I can do with it.
Yeah, we'll see, pal.
Because I was like, "What are you like getting your supplies for kindergarten?"
Well, the difference, Aaron, is Kelsey tells
We'll
us
see.
how inexpensive his art supplies after he's finished the piece.
Oh, well, so I'm making excuses before I get started.
Oh
Now,
no, see,
I'm even going to use the crappy little brush that came with it. How about that?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Wow.
Hey, yeah,
oh no, that's bold. That's
yes,
bold.
that would be
Hell yeah.
a
I'm not
masterful
afraid.
stroke.
If Kelsey can do it, I can do it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that
David's
50 cent.
being strangely quiet. Is he
No,
$50
that's
cent
always
size
does that.
10
Oh.
brush. Go ahead and
David never speaks until he's finished.
Well, that way, when he does say something, it's very meaningful
Is it though?
and creates quite the impact.
We've been waiting for that moment.
You know what? This is a good point. You need to grow your beard longer to be Kelsey.
yeah, if you want to be Kelsey.
Yeah.
Well, I got to start smoking
Yeah.
and
Well, maybe
avant-garde filmmaking. It's just
Well, I think that maybe in the winter you can grow it and see.
I
And
don't know.
then when the grandchild gets here, you shave it and then you scare it like, what happened to Pop? You won't
No,
recognize you.
Pop's gone.
Yep.
Who's
Ooh,
here?
Pop. I like
You
that.
can't.
Pop.
How much food do you have in your beard on a weekly basis? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, but you get hungry in the middle of the night. You don't have to get up.
That's
Look,
true.
I'm lost in the woods. I can survive for like a week and a half. I mean,
Serious.
it has its pluses and minuses.
Well, Kelsey, it looked like you had a really good time in Tampa.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean,
Awesome.
getting to see people. I was like, oh, I forgot about these.
Yeah. I know. Isn't that sad that the only human contact we get is when we go to a convention?
Right.
Well, I mean, you get human contact. They're like paper,
No, you
plastic.
committed. You've committed. You got to do it.
No, these paints suck. I'm going back to more expensive ones.
Look, he's already given in.
You can't take it.
No, I painted the man thing last week with them, and they're chalky, and
Well, what do you expect for $6?
I guess more.
You got to add a lot of water.
Oh my God. Yeah, you just do a lot of water.
A lot of water.
No.
What you do is you add other paint to that paint to make it more paint.
Drip.
That's a lot of paint.
You're
Drip
confusing me
big
with
black
your logic.
dots on the background to get that Kirby effect.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Oh my goodness.
I mean, I don't know. None of this. None of what I'm doing is currently working. So
I was going to mention that you probably should think about starting over. There's still some time.
No. You know my game. I'll just keep working until it works out. Just give me a week or two.
Still trying to figure out what it is, though, not to be mean or anything.
I don't know.
Oh, wait, those are arms, right? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was just like, what is he doing? Oh, I see now. Okay.
Honestly, okay, I'll explain exactly what I'm doing. I'm not doing it as good, but David showed me who's the guy that did Rocketo or Rocketo?
Frank
Espinosa.
Yeah, thank you. Espinosa. And he was showing me Espinosa's like new thing and just like how effortless he just does like a few brush strokes here and there, and he leaves a lot of open space, and it makes something cool. I don't really understand it, so I really wanted to kind of give that a shot.
I don't understand it.
Well, no, I love it though. Huh?
Hey,
I know what you mean.
Let me show you. Let me show you some.
Let me show you
some interesting watercolor work.
It worked. It worked, guys.
Oh,
You're Kelsey, you're lying. It made it cool, and I don't understand it.
All right, have you guys seen this Lobo Fragtastic?
Oh yeah, Herman Maya, dude, I love that guy. Freaking amazing. He works at Mad Magazine. He does a lot of Mad Magazine illustrations as well.
Well, Mad doesn't exist anymore, though.
No, but I collected just about everything I could find of his in Mad. So yeah, it's good stuff.
A watercolor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
He just does those little splotches.
Yep.
And then he does enough of them that they all kind of come together to form a whole piece.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing I was trying.
Strategic placement of red on that page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. That's why I bought it. Look at what's going on here in this tricep. Look at all those little.
Yeah.
That book is so like good. His facial expressions.
Ooh. It's like a Ronnie Coleman arm.
Yeah. I mean, this is just like.
Oh, this is so funny. Like Aaron draw. I know he's like.
Hey, I'm trying to educate
Mr.
ADD.
Look at the pretty colors.
I was so disappointed with Kelly's piece. Cool. Kelsey's piece that I'm going to give him a little extra time.
Sure. Oh my gosh, that face is awesome.
Look how wanky the proportions are. Look how giant her face is compared to her head.
Yeah,
is she wearing a mask? Is that a mask?
No.
Yeah, he's going full blown cartoon. I mean, what's wild is like he just does this stuff
on the left top.
But like you go look for his artwork online, and it's all like fine art stuff. You know, that's all he does. Like, he doesn't have a web presence for a lot of this.
Give the
Fun
book
stuff.
to Shelley.
Yeah, get this out of my sight.
How do I go back to
what? Oh,
there we go. I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
yeah. So yeah, I love that sort of looseness and just kind of like dropping little splotches of color until you build up to something that's really amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hold on, somebody, Joseph Dredd.
I just saw that. No wonder Aaron loses all the time.
What?
Does he do another stuff?
The operative
Uh-oh.
phrase is loses all the time.
Oh my goodness.
Did you take time out of that, or was that Shelley?
that was me.
That was Aaron. Mr. Cannonball.
What's so cool about that clip is the guy is completely ready, but then he acts like he's surprised when he gets hit.
If you get hit by a cannonball, you might.
Yeah.
Even if you
But I
know it's
know,
coming.
you know, his stance ahead of time.
He's ready. Yeah.
But
He's
then
prepped ready.
it's like, uh-oh.
Craft ready.
Oh.
And you know his trousers are jacked up after that.
Yeah.
I had to create the sound effects for that cannon explosion too because I didn't want to use the audio. Actually, I think it was silent when I got it, so I had to use. And there's no like. I just use iMovie because it's.
So you dubbed that?
Huh?
You dubbed that.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
impressive. And I didn't know that.
Did
And
not
I
know
use
that.
like thunderclap and lightning and other things like that to create this explosion noise because they don't have an explosion noise. So
So it's layers of sounds.
oh yeah.
Like
Wow.
Tarzan's, the Johnny Weissmiller's.
All that film school stuff kind of paid off there for
Yeah.
a
What
4-second clip.
program are you using? Give us a demonstration. What are you
Yeah.
No.
I'm
It's
curious.
just iMovie.
You
Teach
see, I
me
put a
more.
little red on Turok here.
It
That's
looks
not the way
orange.
to do it. I think the way to do it is I don't believe you did that.
Oh yeah, I'll show you, buddy.
Are you using the
Yeah, it works. Sweet.
cheapies?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm using the cheapo colors.
Well, see, it goes on red, but when it dries, it looks orange. No,
Yeah.
seriously, Aaron, look at your piece on the
Yeah.
stream, and look
Oh
at
yeah,
Kelsey.
it does look orange.
It's not. It's
Oh.
red.
Looks kind of pumpkin, like pumpkin.
It does.
For
Makes me
every
want a latte.
time you use
Oh my god.
Pumpkin pants.
I'm
Looking
getting.
pants.
I'm getting a bum rap again.
I'm
man.
getting mad here. I'm getting angry.
George's getting
George's getting
angry.
angry. Don't drive angry.
Shelley, please read Luffy.
Okay. Called Aaron losing at the start, and here we are. Fancy paint won't beat Kelsey or Dave or Gary, and he's just sitting there.
Here it comes.
And there we
The
go.
broadcast
No?
Uh-oh.
audience has
Run.
turned.
Run. Oh.
How
Not
many
worth
of
the
these do you
cannonball.
have queued up?
Oh my gosh,
I got a
there's so
few.
many.
I got a few.
So now, like when he's doing, he has to scroll through to find the one he wants. All that always makes me nauseous. But yeah,
I
Nauseous.
keep looking at it, the screen. I'm like, look
I
away,
know.
look away. She's like, oh, I'm getting
I
sick.
can't.
Dan's Den says Turok, son of pumpkin.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna cancel this show.
Mm.
Oh my gosh.
You just wait. You just wait, buddy. I'll show you all.
The Institute.
Who's the guy with
My
the poopy
genius.
pants?
The guy with the poopy pants.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. Who's the guy with the funky pants?
Oh, pumpkin pants. Poopy
Now,
pants.
see, now everybody's trying to get cheap cannonballs, and I'm too.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you got to earn them. You got to go better than that.
He's wiser than that. He knows. He knows what you're up
Oh
to.
my goodness.
I've been down this road before. Like
Aaron, are you skipping the inking?
What are you, Kelsey? One of these?
Looks like it.
I'm.
Hey, don't walk before you can run, pal.
Yep.
Oh my gosh!
You know, when this is over, he'll be like, everybody else
All right,
ganging up on me.
Kelsey, I've had it. I've had it with you. I've had it with all of you.
Wow, I've not seen that one before.
Oh.
See, now we set the bar last week, making you curse. So every show, that's our goal.
Oh my gosh. Was that
I've
the one
never
where
seen him explode like that. That
everybody's dicks?
was monumental.
Oh.
All right, we'll cool it. We'll cool it. Oh my God, we got all this fallout to deal with now.
I know I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, that's an extra
so
bonus
much.
if you buy the
Wasn't a
original
lot to
art as
lose
the
in the first place.
radioactivity.
Well, I can't even find my other
what?
paint. So.
Oh. That was for me.
That was for Shelley.
No.
And then we yelled,
Getting
not
me
the
wet.
neck.
Getting
Anything
me
but the
wet.
neck. Yep.
There's a
Let me
lot
get
of
my
I
other
got-
cheap
I
set of
got a lot
paints.
little violent clips.
Yeah, he's very violent.
All that pent up rage.
Yeah.
Shelly, have you checked the basement lately?
I
Have you seen any
know.
telltale signs of rope or gags thrown around?
Loose
Duct
oil.
tape.
Yeah. What's
Let's
this?
see. One of his.
I'm working on this whole. I got this whole cask of Amontillado thing going on down there.
Oh, here we go.
See
This
how
one.
I did that brilliant literature reference?
I didn't.
Help! I'm being repressed.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bloody peasant.
Yeah. Oh my
Okay.
gosh. We had too much fun.
What literary reference? I totally missed it.
Oh.
He knows.
Like Shelly was just like, oh, like she was sad for me there. Oh, he's. I
She's
didn't
like,
realize he was
oh, that
dumb.
poor imbecile.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you poor thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a government.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I was actually reading some stuff on the making of that movie and just how how brutal it was, because they said they were filming in Ireland, I think, and they were filming during the rainy season, which is why would you film during the rainy season, right? But so they didn't have like actual armor because they couldn't afford it, so all that stuff was like wool. And then they were getting rained on, and so they were just
Oh.
covered in wet wool the whole time. And they're just,
Heavy and stinky.
yeah, they were. And I guess Graham Chapman was like drunk all the time, and so I guess it was just
As
play.
you would be in that scenario. I mean, my
Yeah.
gosh, doesn't sound like it'd be fun.
And I guess he said there was like the hotel they were staying at. He said only had so much hot water, so they would, as soon as they called it a day, they would all get to their cars and race back to the hotel to get a shower before they ran out of hot water.
I think that was a hotel that inspired Faulty Towers.
Oh, really?
The
Oh,
owner of the
interesting.
hotel was just like Basil Fawlty, and that's where
He was probably cutting the hot water off after a while.
that he
then,
was
right?
doing
Like-
all these, Basil Fawlty kinds of things. He hid their luggage because he thought they got a bomb threat, and so they come to check out and they can't find their bags.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, goodness.
The
I thought another Shelley's an idiot story.
what, you want to roast yourself?
Well,
Here, give us some more stories where I'm an idiot. Well,
The-
okay, there was that time you.
remember us watching it, having a movie night with the girls, and
Oh yeah.
oh my gosh.
So, and she's seen
I have seen the movie before.
the Monty Python and the Holy Grail, right? And so
Yeah.
she's watching it with her buddies or her friends, and they get to the intermission part, right?
And we're all like, I can't
So
watch
you
anymore.
get up to get snacks.
No,
Yeah,
they
no,
they
we were like,
turned it
we're
off.
tired.
They're like, we can't
Oh.
watch anymore.
If
The
this
movie's
is
like,
only intermission, I can't do another.
and it's only 5 minutes longer after the intermission of the movie.
And we stopped watching it. We're like, it's another one. I was like, I'm so dumb. But we were just like,
Yeah,
no
she-
way.
Next morning, she's like, yeah, we watched Monty Python and Holy Grail. And I go, yeah, it's pretty funny. And she goes, oh, it's so long. We only got, we got to the intermission. We just couldn't watch it anymore. I'm like, Shelly, it's only 5 minutes longer after the intermission.
I had a friend of mine have a similar dumb spell where he when Dumb and Dumber came out, he was all excited for whatever reason. He really wanted to see that movie, and he's like, hey, let's go see Dumb and Dumber. We could each pay half.
Oh no!
And I thought about it for a second. I'm like, well, yeah, of course we're each going to pay half. There's two of us.
Oh
right?
No! Another one. You go, oh.
And I was like, and how appropriate to go see Dumb and Dumber that he would say that. I'm like, did you plan that? Are you like?
Did you plan on being that stupid, or?
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
That's good.
I've never had such a thing happen to me. Never.
Never done a stupid thing?
No, never.
I'll let you have some of mine.
Purpose.
I'll share. You can have some of mine.
Okay. I've always wondered what it smelled like. I'll take it.
Have a lot.
I threw away our Christmas presents one year because
What?
that's pretty dumb. That is pretty dumb. Well, I mean, it was a little. I can't remember. I was like maybe in junior high school or something like that. But we were going over to my grandmother's, and my mom had put all the presents in a trash bag.
Oh my gosh!
And we always put the trash by the door to go, take out, like on our way out the door. We'll put the trash.
Oh my!
And you're thinking I'm going to be son of the year.
Well, no, she was like, "Be sure to take the trash out." So I went over there and took the trash out, and then
well, that's partially her fault, then, isn't it?
A little bit. I'm going to give her. She's partially culpable, so we're both part of that. But I think we ended up getting all the grandmother's house and no presents, and we thinking about it. And I was like, we threw the presents away. I don't even remember what it was or how much money it was, but yeah, they were gone. Trash was gone by the time we got back. So
are you kidding me?
No!
All gone.
Oh.
I was hoping you'd end with, but we saved them.
No happy ending to that story.
You win. That's right.
Wow.
You are the Grinch.
Kelsey wins.
I am the Grinch.
Oh my God.
My heart did not grow 2 sizes too big or whatever. Quite the opposite.
Little Cindy Lou Who was not impressed.
No.
That's a worse story than convincing Aaron that he got a call to do Captain America from Image.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
I never heard anything worse than that.
Then what?
But
is this a prank you played on him? What happened?
Christmas. Oh,
No, I'll tell that story another time.
Okay.
What?
We'll let your
let that one sit for a minute. Yeah.
Told this before, Kelsey. Where were you? Asleep?
Oh, so there's worse? I mean,
no, I can say yours is worse.
oh, okay. Well, never mind then. I was about to say, you can make me feel better, pal. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not trying to one up you on.
No, just
Oh yeah, well,
save me with a
that I
worse
lost
Aaron
my
Lopresti
limbs and-
story.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, there was a time I made Aaron cry. That was worse than ruining Christmas.
So I'm trying to think of a. Well, okay, Aaron. Now I'm not the only person in this house that does dumb stuff.
You don't have permission to start telling stories about me.
Yes.
You can tell stories about
Well,
yourself if you want to.
One thing Aaron does a lot is he falls up the stairs.
He does what?
Well, because
falls down the stairs.
He falls
Hilarious.
up the stairs. Yeah.
Oh,
Falls up the
what?
stairs like
He has Joe Biden
Biden.
moments.
Yep. Well, because he always wears socks, and so he slips.
Yeah.
But because
get
if he
that.
doesn't wear socks, what happens, Aaron?
Will you leave me out of this?
Nope.
The carpet mites will get you. Yeah.
No, his hands sweat, and so he can't draw without wearing socks.
On his hands? Oh.
Oh my gosh, that is really funny. But when social media kind of started, and Aaron was like, I don't get it. Like, I set up his YouTube channel years before he ever used it, trying to go, this is what we should do, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so we were telling, my son and I were saying, you should do Facebook. And he's like, why? doesn't make sense. And so we'd convinced him that the more friends you got, every friend you got points, and that you could redeem them for stuff.
You tried the social media.
Yeah. And
Aaron's
so we were like,
trying to
yeah. And he's
save
like, well,
up
what's the
for a
point? I'm like,
Dakota
well,
ring.
yeah, you get points for how many friends you have, and then you can redeem, like, the credit card points. You can
That's how
redeem
people
them
make
for
money
stuff.
now, Aaron. Don't you know?
Yeah. He fell for it for a while.
All right,
When
I
you
got
start
another one that might
investing
top
in
that. I can make you feel a little better, Aaron.
Okay.
Again, when I was younger, I did a road trip with my cousin and his family, and I guess they had they had a lot of inside jokes that I was not aware of. So, as we're driving down the highway, I see those, like, we know that they're hay bales for cows, like in the fields,
Right.
but there's like those little Swiss rolls of hay that you see out there, and I was like, "What are those?" And his dad, without a hesitation, goes, "They're cow eggs." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, that's how cows are born." And then my cousin got into it, and they were like, just totally laying it on thick that cows came from cow eggs.
Now, wait a minute, how old were
Oh
you?
my
That's the
gosh.
question. Were you in your 20s?
Yeah, I was 27.
No, this was last
week. Last week. I got it.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
So
gosh.
yeah, I took, and they never let me off the hook. And I found out much later, telling somebody else that. I was like, "Those are cow eggs." And it was like, "No, those are hay bales, idiot." And I was like,
Oh my god.
"Oh."
Oh, that's why Kelsey couldn't get a date in high school. But
Oh my gosh.
Aaron, did you know about this? Blackjack says the Comicsgate Strong channel clipped the Captain America Gary story.
Oh, really?
Oh,
See if you
yeah,
can
I
find
think
it.
I have seen that actually.
Maybe you
Thanks
can
a
Oh
lot.
my
find it. Play it for us.
gosh.
Appreciate that. Bringing back those bitter memories. I'm sure it feels a lot like Kelsey does every time he thinks about throwing away Christmas. Kind of-
That's just like, oh.
No, when I did it the second time, it totally washed that memory away. So.
It's like asking Evel Knievel to relive that Las Vegas.
Yeah, where he jumped over Susan
Crash,
Collins and
where
broke
he,
every bone
like-
in his body.
Right. And then with every talk show he went on after that, they wanted, "Do you remember that day? What were you
How do you
thinking?"
feel about that?
Yeah,
He probably doesn't remember it though.
of
My
course he
God.
does.
Well, he remembers that, but then after that, it's
He remember,
Being in the
I remember
hospital.
going
just
up
a
in the
haze.
air.
Yeah.
These
Oh my gosh.
paints suck.
Quit being an elitist.
Buffy is God says, "Hey, my brother told his daughter they were tractor eggs."
Oh my gosh.
That's that one. I'm not the only one that was caught in that.
Tractor eggs.
They're eggs of some kind. Tractor eggs. Kelrod is asking if we've ever been on a snipe hunt. What is that?
Yeah, that's what
I
they
was
do.
asked
They
to,
give
but
you a
I saw through
flashlight
it.
and a
and
burlap
didn't go.
sack and sent you out in the woods or in a field and make you run around and try and catch snipes. Which
What
of
is a
course there's no
snipe?
such thing.
Oh.
What is it? What is a snipe?
If there's no such thing, you
There's
can
no such thing.
Oh,
They
okay.
give
I
us,
would
what
have.
you want to make it out to be. And so then you get people out there with flashlights in their burlap sack trying
Oh yeah,
to
they gave me
I'm a little gullible. I would have bought
a
it.
sack and a stick.
Oh my gosh.
You're supposed to go pound the tall grass, right? And see if you can.
How long were you out there?
No, I didn't go. I
Oh,
saw
okay.
through it. Adults.
Oh,
I would have fell for it completely. All right, I'm gonna go get me some snipe.
You know who you're dealing with? Have you not heard my Aaron Lepresti Captain America prank?
No,
I'm 6
not
years
yet.
old, telling him that.
Oh gosh.
I feel like I want to start over.
Oh my gosh. Every week.
He just got a load of what Kelsey was doing.
What? I mean, I've been
No, I mean,
quiet
that's
over
right.
here, but
Aaron
I
wants
was
to
like,
start
at least
over.
it looks better than Kelsey's, but it's still not good enough.
Oh. Nice.
He's aiming for David. That's what's David doing? Is it good? Oh no, it's not. Okay, great. I'm still in the running. Yeah.
God, I just hate the way these paints lay.
You're still trying to use them?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we shamed him into.
Yeah.
I'm like going to go over the whole thing with acrylics now, I guess.
It'll be tonight, middle of the night. I come in
We'll
here. He's
consider this
working on it.
underpainting.
No, this kind of paint, you got to just throw it down. You can't be like trying to work it all fancy
I
pants.
know. I know.
Quit working it, low presty.
Work
I'm gonna
it.
ink it now.
Work it, girl.
Maybe it'll look better. How much time do I got? 30 minutes?
You can do it.
You can do it.
The problem with the way I'm doing it is I'm not really sure when it's done. It'll just kind of, oh yeah, all right. I think I'm done.
Here's some knowledge for us. Geek Avenger $2. Thank you. A snipe is a wading species of bird.
Oh, there you go. So it is a thing. What if they came back with a bag full of birds? You know, like, oh my dear Lord, you weren't supposed to kill anything.
A dripping bag of birds.
Yeah.
Blood oozing out.
I found as many as I could.
I killed them all. They put up a fight, but they were no match for me.
Now I'm going to have to find this. You've ever seen the BBC video of a spaghetti harvest in Switzerland from the spaghetti trees?
Aaron knows where it's at. Find it, Aaron.
I'm going to have to find that now.
No, I've never heard of this. Yeah, bring it out. I don't know. This is looking. You can see it's coming into view. Like there's things happening.
I can tell what it is now.
There's things occurring.
Things be happening.
I thought of a much better image after I already started, so I had to keep going. I just it's like no, let's just keep going. Let's see where it goes. I still have no idea.
Well, I got to figure out a better strategy on this show for actually.
Winning?
I need to figure out what I want to do before I do it. I mean, in terms of, am I going to ink this? Am I going to paint it? What am I going to do? And then like have a strategy because I don't have a strategy and then I get myself in trouble.
Yeah. Because that's what I do. I go in prepared.
Yeah, but you're like so used to saving bad drawings that you've become accustomed to it.
Wait a minute. That sounds like a backhanded compliment. How many bad drawings? What are we talking about? What?
I'm just wondering, Aaron, if that was the excuse you used for an editor if they didn't like the work. Well, I didn't have a strategy when I started drawing the book.
Do you remember? Was it Adam Hughes? I can't remember. We heard about this and someone told. I can't remember who the artist was. I shouldn't say it was Adam, but it was. We were in the studio talking about this, and because we had connections at Dark Horse, and this artist was really late on their assignment. And the excuse they used was they forgot how to draw. That's what they told the editor.
Did it work?
I guess. Bought him some time.
I'm going to try that next time. Aaron, I forgot how to color.
Here we go. $88 confirmed for crappy paint dino. Run!
Daniel just named that piece.
I know.
You can't shoot somebody who's offering money.
Oh, that was good. Crappy paint dino.
Oh.
Is that its official scientific name?
Yep, that's the title of the piece. We'll have to use it.
Yeah, you guys just wait. Just wait.
Oh,
come together.
Oh,
you guys are so funny.
I think it looks great. Keep going.
You can do it, buddy.
Whatever you do, don't start over.
You don't have time.
Is that a no?
Remember, Aaron, your self-worth has nothing to do with this
Rex.
piece of art.
Is that what it is?
Oh my God.
That is so funny. Craposaurus
You
Rex.
guys are just jealous.
Oh,
all just petty jealousy.
You're all just jealous. I'll get you all in the end.
Oh, jealous. Oh, my genius.
That's what my mom always used to say. If anybody like insulted me or she goes, "Oh, they're just jealous." I'm like, I don't think they are, Mom.
Yeah.
let's see.
We could hear David's marker squeaking.
Like
Yeah.
someone's producing work.
Well, I was going to say, at least he's contributing to the show.
So, David, do you have that sound on tape? So if Sandra is wondering if you're working, you just turn
Yeah,
it on.
exactly.
I better not go and disturb him. He's in there.
You're napping, or like you hear that squeaking sound,
Yeah.
because that squeaking sound equals money.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cha-ching.
Oh, he's busy.
I just got a notification from Marvel about another royalty check.
Yeah, so did I. I got a whopping $94
They still have money?
for
Well,
reprints and
apparently.
collections and stuff like that.
I'm surprised they're sending out because I don't get those from DC hardly at all anymore.
How much you get, Aaron?
Yeah, how many wait. How many books did you have to do to get how much money? That's what I want.
No, it's collections and trade
Oh,
paperbacks.
okay.
mhm.
That's what I get money for.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I have a check that I didn't cash because I keep it because I want to frame it. But it's for 75 cents for
Yeah.
Marvel.
Did you?
Oh my God. You know, Kelsey, you can deposit it online and then you keep the check, honey. Not
Oh,
that
really?
it's gonna break the bank, you know. Like
Yeah, I mean the 75 cents. I mean, yeah, I'm like, it's not even worth my time, please.
Yeah. I
Spend more on
got
gas going to the bank. you know?
royalty
Come on,
checks
do it
for
on your
less than $1.
phone, boomer.
Excuse me, I don't
Yeah.
have time for your 75 cents.
Well, it used to be like we'd get so excited, a royalty check. Oh my gosh. And I can remember
Yeah.
like right after we got married, and he had worked on that special anniversary hologram cover issue for Spider-Man. And it was ginormous
Yeah, it
for us.
$28,000.
We took pictures with it.
Yep.
I'm like, I did well. Boy,
That's
this
great.
guy's really gonna make some money.
He was holding his
And
head
then
up
all
high,
in.
right?
And then now it's
walking
like
around.
we got a royalty check, and then we have to guess how much. So I'm always like, $1.75. And then he's like, well, not far off.
No, I think the cheapest one I got was like $19 or something like that. I don't think I've ever had like the $2.35 or something like that.
No, I got one last quarter from DC for like $6.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good money these
Well,
days.
we haven't got anything from DC in a long time.
That's what I mean. It's like I keep
Yeah.
getting these Marvel royalty checks, but DC never, hardly ever.
Well, do they have anybody working? I mean, and then the people they had in accounting, his checks were never right.
Oh God, they screwed up my checks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible.
That's
running.
that's common in all the companies, not just Marvel.
Oh,
DC.
well, then he would have to email and remind the editor to invoice his pages.
Yeah.
And
Don't
then
get me
you
started
check,
on
you're
Dark
like,
Horse.
that's not the it's nuts.
I had a personal relationship with accounting because I would go over my editor's check because I knew he was sitting on my invoices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd get mad at me because I would call them and I said, well, quit sitting on my invoices.
David has some of the closest relationships with editorial I've ever seen. Usually he's hassling him big time for that.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a cordial one.
It's funny because he knows them all by name, and he's like, call up so and so, and I'm like, who? He's like, just call him. I'm like, I don't call these people.
Yeah, I did the same thing for years with the head of accounting at Dark Horse.
Yeah.
You
You think
We were
that
on a
should
first
have
name.
one job? That's
we were
their
on a
job.
first name basis.
Oh, that makes me crazy.
Well,
those days are over. I don't know half of the people that are working anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All new people that I don't care to know.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I did that when I worked at animation. There was always the accounting department, and I'd always go in there and and hang out with them, treat them real nice, bring them stuff, you know, want anything to drink, you know, whatever. Because I knew that's where that check came from.
Mhm.
Well,
They
they
were nice
screwed up
people,
my
too.
check so frequently and so regular at DC that we were at a DC creator conference, and Larry Gannon was up there making a presentation and referenced me specifically, made a joke about my checks.
If your checks are this low, we don't know.
Like, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like it was like with probably every 3 months they would screw up one of my checks.
Man, you had a similar career that I did. I mean, we should take notes or compare notes. I was always chasing down a paycheck.
Well, it's because most of us are living paycheck to paycheck, right? So
I know.
if you miss a paycheck, it's like, I'm going to die. Give me my money. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Well, I think I used to say, do we get to keep our house this month, or do we eat this month? What? Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Do a little guilt trip action on them.
Yeah, and then we go out snipe hunting for food at night. Never caught anything.
Snipe hunt.
Yeah.
I got a royalty check from Dark Horse one time, and I did the math and realized it was way short. I mean, like way short. And so I called up the head of accounting at Dark Horse, and I told them, hey, this is way short. And I told them why, crunched the numbers for him. And when I was done, he says, like, wait a minute, can you give me those numbers again? He actually said that. This was the head of accounting.
Oh, wow.
And I had to tell him how to
one
calculate
job.
the royalty. And so he redid it, and I got the correct amount.
I thought you were going to say, my funds are insufficient. And he goes, well, work harder. No,
But it was like, I had to tell him how to calculate the royalty. The guy, this was on an inking job, and the pencil artist got, the short end too. Wow. So I called him up and said, are you going to thank me for your, increase in royalty? And he said he didn't know what I was talking about. So they screwed the penciler too and did not correct his royalty. And so, he had to call them and ask for the correct amount. So that's how shady Dark Horse was.
Well, and then you think, I mean, that's your job. You have one job. When we, we just bought our first house, I think, but Aaron had student loans, right, from USC, and we get this letter saying you have not been paying enough all these years or whatever. So as a courtesy to you, we're going to, refigure it, and these are going to be your payments now. And it went up like hundreds. 10 times, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And we're like, at that point, I think our mortgage was $135 a week, and that was a push. So we were like, oh my gosh. So I, of course, being the calm person that I tend to be, I call him and I'm like, wait, this is your guys' error. You guys sent us the coupon thing. We paid for years on it at this. And I kept saying, I go, I have a degree in math. I don't know. That must be my excuse for everything. I go, if I knew it was my job to do your job.
Yeah, that's
this wouldn't have been.
You guys should have caught this. We're like,
you should have known. And we're like, well,
yeah, because we weren't. What they were charging me on my monthly payment was not enough to even cover the interest on the loan. Yeah, but I just get the coupon, pay the check, and mail it in.
Right.
And so I went through this amazing thing where I threatened to sue them. I mean, I was just faking everything because I had no knowledge of anything.
Yeah.
And I was making stuff up like. You guys, I'm sure you're aware that you've broken, a Section 34. I mean, I was literally doing this on the phone with these guys, and so they turned it over. They turned it over to collection agency. So I was negotiating with this lady from the bank, and I went to talk to a lawyer about this, and the lawyer's like, he's like, yeah, well, they screwed up the, handling of the loan. He said, but you pretty much borrowed the money, so you pretty much got to pay it back. And I'm like, there's no way I can get out of this. And he goes, I don't see how. And so they called, we went back and forth, make a long story short. We went back and forth this for a long time. And I just kept bluffing and bluffing and saying, you guys are going to get fined when I turn this over to the FCC or whoever, you know, not the FCC, but whoever's in charge of the banks and stuff. And I was just like, just bluffing my butt off. And they
Well, it was so frustrating because we didn't even cover the interest. So now we're paying interest on interest. I mean, of course, that's compounding interest. Oh, sorry, little math lesson there. But yeah, they were like, now you can, you know, it went up from like $50 or something to like 400. That's how it was just.
And so I told the lady, I said, well, I guess I'll just see you in court, right? And I'm just like, I had no intention of suing because I had no money. And she finally says to me, she goes, look, you're not going to walk away from this without paying something. And I go, aren't I? And then and I kept saying, when I would talk to him, I'd go, we're not trying to get out of it. We will pay what we owe, but I'm not paying extra for someone's mistake. You had one job. That was your job, and you guys screwed it up. We were mixed messaging because I was trying to get out of it for nothing. And so anyway, this lady from the bank finally calls me back, and she goes, all right, she goes, you pay a lump sum of $5,000 and we'll call it even. And I went, done.
Oh, really?
I thought it was 10.
No, it was 5. I emptied out our savings, which was about $5,000, paid it off because I owed him like
Aaron,
money.
you blew it. You told her it was 10.
I know, you could have.
Well, I got this great comic with the extra 5.
Right. And of course, that was 1990. I don't know, early 90s.
Wow. Mid-90s. But so I guess it pays to, you know, even when you don't know what you're talking about, to act like you do know what you're talking about.
Just fake it till you make it. 318.
I didn't hear any of that, by the way. I was only listening to the marker.
Yeah, start over.
A long time ago.
I'm just listening to the marker scritches.
Yep.
What was that one commercial where the guy's eating Raisin Bran or something in his office desk, and the guy comes up and is talking to him, but the crunching in his ears are so loud he can't hear what he's saying, so he's just nodding at him, and the guy's firing him. He's like, and the guy leaves. He just goes, you know, he stays at his job, and there's some joke about, you know, you can't respond to what you don't know or whatever.
This is what I was just thinking, that marker ASMR. I don't know what that stands for.
They have that though.
Audio something or another.
They have drawing ASMR, and they have like a microphone right next to the pencil, and it's like all over this. I'm like, who could handle this? This is Chinese torture.
I watched one Japanese guy, Ashitako or whatever his name is. I can't remember, but
you're just making that up.
No. He did a book called Eat Man, so people could look him up. But he's out there, older guy, but he doesn't talk or anything on his videos. He just draws, and it's all that ASMR. And I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or if it's just because he doesn't speak English. He wants to make it universal.
No,
but it's little sounds like just his pencil on paper. Very
and they
quiet.
get millions of views. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I remember once, I don't know, I just go down these rabbit holes on YouTube all the time, but when I realized, oh my gosh, it's been over an hour and I'm watching some guy clean an area rug. And I was like, what is wrong with me?
Well, I have watched those presses. There's these videos where you get to see a guy, and all he does is put in like a stack of paper, and then he does the press and then it explodes. Or he'll put in like, you know, a box of, you know, rabbits or whatever. I don't know. He'll just put things.
Wow.
He just puts things in the press, and that's all he does. So you just watch hours and hours of just him putting things in a press.
See, I knew someone would know. Auditory sensory manipulation for relaxation.
Yeah.
Like, well, I just,
is it working?
It's just weird stuff I watch. Now I'm watching people like do van conversions to.
Oh, I love those.
Campers or tiny homes. Yeah.
I like
and then
that.
I think I could do that. And then I'm like, I can't even vacuum the whole house at one time. So I don't think I'll be building.
I do the same thing with like gardening and stuff. And I'm like, man, I can't wait to have like a whole garden and grow food and all this stuff. And then I'll go outside for like 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Now, you seriously just made that up. And then I was like, well, I knew someone would know. Blah, blah. So dumb. Oh,
What?
He said he made
That
it
is
up.
soothing.
Oh, so he hooked you and
Yeah. But you know
David
what though? He's
scribbles
probably
is
right. I
soothing.
mean, it works.
I listen to like ocean waves and seagulls and stuff while I'm working. I think I want to tape
Nice.
David's marker sounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
I listen to death
I
metal.
listen to our
and
old shows and say, "Man, you're funny."
Affirmative,
David Steele's
Eric.
getting clubbed. Is that what you do? Seriously? I just caught what you said.
You just made it up. Yeah.
Gosh, Aaron, you're so good. That's what you're listening to your own shows. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
I was going, man, I was funny in that show.
I want to meet that guy.
See, I look back on him and go, "Oh, that was not a good look, Shelley. Don't do that again."
I do the same thing. Okay, shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said that. All right.
Okay, so now we've got autonomic sensory meridian response. See, now I don't trust anybody. Eric the Guapo, you have ruined it for everybody.
You can't trust Eric. As far
That
as
sounds
I know.
legit.
I mean, that sounds good too. I would buy that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There's also these things called cow eggs, Shelley. Heard about.
And then like you get points on Facebook for how many friends you have. Oh my gosh.
I, for the life of me, could not understand what the value of getting a like was, and like, so everything to me is like had to be monetized. I'm like, what? But as you can see, I'm not the only one that thinks likes are worth money. There's a lot of people on Twitter that are convinced themselves that the more likes they get, the more successful they'll be.
Sorry, 40% Z. Okay, autonomous sensory meridian response. It's supposed to be soothing background. Yeah, like the white noise.
Can you say that in English?
I have a noise machine like next to my head when I'm sleeping.
She knows math, not English.
No,
seriously. Right. Oh my gosh. Because he was like, hey, did my answer not show up? But yeah. That I don't mind. Well, it's too because I hear everything. And so I have to
everything.
I have
she
to like
knows everything.
Block everything out to sleep. Especially when the kids were little, because I would hear like, oh, there's a baby crying somewhere in the neighborhood.
Yeah, you're like attuned to it at that point,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, so are you only going to leave the dinosaur inked?
I was thinking the same thing.
No,
so he's fighting an albino dinosaur.
We got about 10 minutes, so I'm trying to get this so it has some semblance of looking like it's completed, and then I'll just have to color the dino later. And I may go back over this Turok too. I'm throwing these paints out, Kelsey. You really suck.
That's so funny. Give them to Sammy.
Yeah, I'll give them to my daughter. Here.
You got to go to the dollar store I go to. It's called Dick Blick's.
Yep.
It's
a Dick Blick's, or if it's the discount Dickless Blicks. Is that what we're...
Wow.
That's the discount one?
No, okay, that... Oh my gosh! I never know what's going to come out of my face.
Oh my god!
Well,
at least it wasn't me this time.
One year for Halloween, we thought, well, it'll be really funny. Let's go rent costumes. So us, of course, last minute we go in there and there's like hardly anything left. And so one costume I found was Dick Tracy. So of course, maybe I was like, well, I'll go as Dickless Tracy. So that's for it. Sorry, Chuck.
Okay, we just got struck.
Where's our cannonball? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
I didn't have anything to do with it. So.
Leg kick. We're just gonna start making stuff up now, like Alabama Street Management Reinstitution. I'll be like, oh, okay, that works. Yes, it's a true story. Dickless Tracy.
It is. We thought we were.
Oh, because we were going to a Halloween party, and we're like, oh my
good.
gosh, we have to. Yeah.
We thought we were pretty funny. I don't know
We
if
thought
else
we were
did.
pretty clever.
And deathly silence, which you never want on a radio show.
Well, that's when we go.
Well, no, you just said that one Asian guy, that artist, never talks on his videos and gets 1 million. Maybe we're talking too much. Maybe that's the problem.
Oh my gosh, that's true.
Conversation stopped when David stopped marker inking.
Wait.
We're not hearing those sounds anymore.
No.
I don't know that I could listen to like comforting sounds when I'm drawing. I like fall asleep at the drawing table.
Well, I get used to that white noise, and then it's like, when you hear like an air conditioning going or something, you're like, oh my gosh, that's like white noise. What if I fall asleep? I would do that at work. Like, oh no. When I hear those kind of sounds, well, let's see, white noise. This is what's right next to my head when I'm sleeping. Like,
and it's that loud too.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Full. Yep. Maybe that's why I can't sleep.
Yeah, I might have it.
It's not the back pain. It's
What's all that noise?
What's all the noise I can sleep?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of that way in that I like the ceiling fan makes just enough kind of like white noise that it works, and then sometimes I'll turn it off and forget it's off, and it just like, why am I not sleeping well?
Well,
It's
yeah,
something
now I
you
can't.
were so used to it.
At the start, Leah, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Can you guys hear me?
Barely.
That's great.
Oh,
Sometimes it's loud, sometimes
Loud
it's quiet.
before?
Yeah, it was.
what is that?
That's Gary. He's always getting busted.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm looking around like, is that our house? So Squibs, Val99 thinks, does Aaron needs to see? That's what I was thinking too. It's
Needs to
just
do Asmer sketching videos. What does that mean?
ASMR. Oh my gosh, Aaron, what does that mean? That's what we just been talking about. That
Hey, I'm
ASMR.
drawing.
Are you focusing on drawing
Yeah, I don't know
finally?
what you guys are talking about.
No, that's the
Yeah.
no talking, just the sound.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
You guys hear
Oh.
me now?
well, he likes the
Barely.
chiropractor ones.
Yes.
See, Aaron would what?
Speak, David.
Oh, sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you were just drowned out over the sound of Shelly's voice. That's all.
Oh.
Hey, Matt
Whoa.
Hep, Matt Hep, I don't draw. I just crack wise.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Oh, I get some. All right.
There you go.
Gary,
I like how Gary uses the term crack wise. That's a 1940s movie. Yeah, so you're going to crack wise with me, are you?
Wise up. That's the days when you was an insult. Hey, you.
Hey, you. Yeah.
Hey, you
Hey,
guys.
Iota. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would really like to post what Phantom Harlock just put, but I think I'll get in trouble.
Let me see.
This one.
Yeah, you're gonna have to read that in the chat for yourself.
Yeah.
But,
That's
Oh, I'm
good though.
sorry, Matt. I misunderstood what you were saying. Matt was talking about the sirens. Yeah, there's a fire station right down the street, literally like a half a block from where I live.
Yep. So you get to hear that all the time.
Yep, several times a day.
That's your ASMR.
And there's a light near an intersection near my window, and so they honk the horn right when they come up to my house.
Nice.
Well,
So, Kelsey, you ever mess around with acrylics?
yeah, that's what I started with, and I could never really figure it out at the time.
Uh-oh. Here he goes. Oh, whoa, whoa.
Sorry about
I'll go
that.
deal with that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd see Stelfreeze would be telling me how to do it, and I'd see him do it, and he'd use it, water. He'd have transparent and translucent and all that. But I mean, that was my early 20s, and I didn't know crap. So I still haven't really messed around with it, but maybe soon. I don't know why.
I got a piece here that I don't think I'm half done with it. This one, this barbarian chick from several shows ago.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of want to, I'm thinking I might go over her with acrylic and just kind of take a different approach rather than finishing it out the way it is, because this fur bikini thing she's got on here or whatever, I want to get more texture in it than I'm getting from the watercolor. And I keep thinking, if I go in here with acrylic, then I'm thinking, well, then why don't you just do the whole thing in acrylic? Paint over it all, and do it as an acrylic and see how it turns out, just kind of as an experiment. So I think I might do that.
Should test out those dollar store ones you were using. Those could work.
Yeah, well, I just did on Turok, and
you need to practice more.
that's going to be the end of the line, I think, for my. Dude, they're like seriously, they're like Tums. You ever eat Tums like antacid tablets?
Yeah,
That's what they're like with color on them.
sometimes they are the really cheap ones. You must have gone.
Is it time up?
Yeah, I was just going to say, what's the
Probably.
I got about 5 more minutes of work to do.
No, you don't.
Oh, that was like 20 minutes ago.
Well, we started at we got 5 minutes. You
Well,
like it or not?
I've already jacked this up. This is definitely a sketch. Let's call it.
That's right. These are just sketches. They're not
Sketches. It's just a color sketch, mind you.
That's right. Just kind of get an idea for a bigger piece, right? How it might look if you did a bigger, finished piece.
See, now that I say that.
According to David G., never thought I'd see an episode of Graybeards where David did more work than Aaron.
Whoa. Aaron.
Well, you're still not seeing it, pal.
You are getting encouraged to do the acrylic thing. Pablo Romero Art is encouraging you to.
Yeah, I mean, was that what you were asking me if that's a good idea or something? Or
No, I was just asking if you've ever worked with them before. I mean, I have a little bit, but not, extensively, and certainly not for several years. So,
yeah, you could do a lot. I think it's a lot more versatile. That's kind of why, leaning towards the gouache, because it's a lot. It's this. You get the same kind of thing if you do it right. You can have a lot of control and cover up mistakes and rearrange things. With acrylic, you can't really do that. You have to keep going opaque to really correct anything. And I ended up painting like just what did I do? I grabbed like a brush and I would just kind of grind it in to get the fades I wanted, because I'm like, how do you get those fades?
Too.
Yeah. I think actually Anna, that Star Wars girl, does the same thing. She like just makes a fade by just grinding the brush in.
Yeah, you just do like this really intense dry brush thing.
Yeah.
And okay, so I'm glad I'm not the only one doing that then.
No, it seems to be kind of a regular thing. But you see Stelfreeze do it, and he's like, he'll do the wash with translucent or transparent paints, like you would watercolor, real thin, watered down, and then go over it with opaques. And I don't know how he's so controlled with that stuff.
Well,
but he's been doing it a long, long time, so he knows.
He's probably art educated too, right?
No. Well,
really?
he might be, but I mean, from the stories I get, he did when he was real young. He used to paint on T-shirts at the beach. So, like, he would be like airbrushing a Camaro on somebody's T-shirt. So, or whatever. It was like the 70s and 80s or whenever, when he was real young. So, he got real good at just getting what he needs like right away. With paint. And then he did all those like Shadow of the Bat covers and where he had like a really loose technique. If you ever look at those, it's just
it's very blocky.
Yeah, well, it looked like he would, design it out, probably artographed it on the board real loose, but then he would just do these washes of airbrush over it. So it would have this green glow coming up over here, and then it would kind of have it fade into some other color, purple or something like that. And then he would do the shadows and then the highlights, and then that was it. And he would do it with like pencils sometimes. And so the fade of the background kind of going through everything made it look like ambient light. So everything was tinted by that light. So it didn't look like he was chinsing out or something. It was technique. All right, the guy's brilliant. All right, I'll sing his praises forever, that guy. Always amazing. And then he's doing stuff now where he's doing, like you were looking at the Herman Maya there with the Lobo and how he adds just the little bits of paint here and there to kind of build up effect. if you see Stelfreeze and what he's doing now with the watercolors and stuff, he'll just lay down brushstroke of light green, or whatever. And then this part of the head has like a light purple, but then he'll mix the two where right in the right spot, he'll mix it where the shadow goes. And it's like, holy smokes, like, how are you even doing this? I don't even understand, but he'll mix all the paint like right on the board and just translucent washes. I don't know. Mastery.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And so do I, because it's time, gentlemen. We have run out of time.
Uh-oh.
And it's time to face the music. Time seems to be the theme here.
I hope they're good to us. I hope they're easy on us this round.
All right,
No,
I'll
no,
go
no,
first
no, we did.
because that's just how I roll. I'm not
Okay.
afraid.
I am a little bit.
All right, so
See, that works the way it is because you don't know if
Oh,
that's
yeah.
his imagination or that T-Rex is really there.
so
What do you mean? Those paints are great.
Root for that man.
Look at
yeah,
those
they
things.
look good from over here, but you get right up on them and they're
I can't tell the difference between that and nice paint. It all looks like crap.
yeah.
I can talk because I got the worst piece tonight. I'm pretty sure of it.
No. This isn't.
Oh, no
I like
competition.
my figure work here. It's fine. I just I need
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just not done yet. So we'll see if I can save this or not. And as we move forward, though, Bearwolf says at least it's not black Turok like the 2018 Turok. A. Lopez. I did covers for that. I could never figure that out. They made Turok a black guy. What black guy's ever been named Turok?
My cousin.
I said, what black guy has ever been named
Your cousin.
Turok?
I was about to say, what black guy's ever been in the jungle? Oh, wait. Well, because around here, black people ain't going camping. There used to be a joke around here with black people. They were like, I'm not going camping. There was a comedian that was talking about that stuff. Anyway, I'm not racist.
No, of course not.
Thank you for
All right, Kelsey. Oh,
Disclaimer.
look what Kelsey's got here. He's got a girl with orange hair. That's always good. He's got Magnus in his red skirt. I like the robot.
Let me help you see it a little clearer. There we
Yeah,
go.
there you go. That now it's looking good.
Hold on, Kelsey. That girl reminds me of that. Was it 1 million years BC with Raquel Welch? That poster.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
it looks-
So this is definitely a sketch. When you get in closer here, there's look at I love it.
Oh, okay,
Look at
I
it.
take it back.
Yeah, look at it. Look at
In that face. What the
Looks like a Muppet.
But far away, it's brilliant.
it. That's what I'm saying. It's impressionism. That's it.
Yeah, it's
She's like, ah!
I was going for the
There,
overall.
It looks like Raquel Welch.
It's the overall effect. Here, I'm going to sign it. Actually, Bob. There you go.
oh, that's good.
There we go.
That's good
Magnus the
stuff.
robot.
But the nice thing about your stuff, Kelsey, is the farther you get away from it, it just comes together.
Yes, it works great when you're in another room, sometimes in another state. It looks awesome.
Another state, yeah.
Art of Royce says Magnus dangly bits. I don't know. Did you
Oh.
show his?
Oh my gosh!
It looks like it, doesn't it?
It's an illusion of the
Oh!
boob. Look at that.
Wow.
It's a
Oh,
boob
That's what she's
illusion.
looking at. Look at her eyes.
She's looking at
She's looking right there.
All right. Well,
Now
at
the
least I made
picture is
everybody.
painted in more ways than one.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. We're in that kind of outfit.
Magnus Muppet Fighter. Let's see. Phantom Harlock. He was concentrating on the booba.
Yeah, those boobs are great. The
Yeah,
rest of
there's
it,
Mungo.
My homie says he's a bull.
Daniel Russell, hold my nuts. Good as this show used to be so good. Oh, the good old days, huh? Remember just a few months ago when this show was actually worth watching? Blackjack says Blackjack says Rocky Mountain Magnus.
All right, so I hope
Oh,
everybody
my
feels
goodness.
better about themselves. All right.
Yeah.
So cocky to go up against that robot.
Oh.
Mm.
All right, David, let's see. Speaking of D's nuts.
And talking about Brian Stelfreeze, that's what this reminds me of.
Yeah, what, this piece or
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good. Not hilarious at all, like mine. Very cool. And unfinished as usual. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Leg Kick says artistic skills I hear degenerate in old age.
Yeah. Got to get my artistic
Bearwolf
skills and
13
my
says
prostate checked.
winner. This isn't a competition, though, Bearwolf. It's not a competition. So, Randy Howell trying to start trouble, saying winner.
Oh, that'd be
Dad's in a
great
pot-
if I win between out of you two on this one
Yeah.
with this piece. All right, let's do it. Good thing it's not a competition.
That's right. Thankfully, Kato's not in a skirt, says Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Ruby Jade likes it. She says, really awesome. We got looks good. I thought this was a Christian stream. Eric says. Well, Kelsey's a degenerate Christian, so it's sort of a little bit different. H is for
I do a
heretics.
lot of praying for forgiveness. You know,
Yeah, well, look at H of the Heretic is trying to throw this back on me. He says, last week you called us a bunch of dicks and the quality just cratered. Oh, boy. Space Monkey just got here. Is this the winner? There's no winners on this show. It's just it's a studio, sit down, just a bunch of friendly guys drawing pictures. Oh, my goodness. Okay, Gary, what have you got?
Charming personality. Oh my
He
God.
he just did that.
This is illustration of the Vietnam memorial I did for the American Legion magazine.
Wow.
There you go.
I hate you even more.
Yeah, Gary had to cleanse the palate for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe
That's
Anon
true.
says, no winners, just us losers. So
Yeah, the real people that lost out on this are the audience. Yeah.
And I realize what that no spitting sign means. It means no rappers allowed.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's exactly.
No spitting.
Oh.
All right, can we end this nightmare now? Or what?
Yeah. Wib says, love that, Gary. You win again if it were a competition, which of course it isn't. But all right, everybody, there you have it. We had another strong audience. I wish we had better stuff to show you, but maybe next week. There's hope springs eternal.
Yeah. Indeed.
Oh my goodness. All right. So you've been watching Graybeard's Studio, of course, the best show on the internet. And we'd appreciate if you guys, if you hit the like and subscribe button, if you have not done that already. That's a Bisley.
No, what do you mean? I just did this today. This is my winning piece.
Yeah. I think Biz did that. But you didn't have to pay for that, right?
This is the gold key Shank. Yes. No, I think Phil bought it, though. I think he did. I hope he did. Maybe he just stole it from Bisley. I don't know.
Boy, if Phil bought it and gave it to you.
That's right. Phil's a good guy. Good guy.
I want to be friends with him.
You're right.
You just have to put up with 10,000 texts and emails every day. That's all you got to do. That was supposed to be a joke. Laugh.
I
All right,
talk.
okay.
Hey, I talk to Biz every once in a while. He's a good dude.
The Biz.
The Biz. Okay. Anyway, I was trying to get us out of the show here. Kelsey's like begging for us to get out of here.
Gotta go eat. Oh.
That's right.
This took a lot out of me. This
I know.
got my fidget out and everything. I'm all nervous.
There's you got a lot going on there. Okay, let me try this again. You guys have been watching Graybeard's Studio. Thank you for joining us. We could not do it without you. We appreciate your participation and help making this show as fun as it is for all of us and hopefully for at least some of you. But we'll be back next week with more exciting. Who gets to pick next week?
Me.
Oh, David Williams is picking the categories that you get to choose next week. So make sure you stay with us. Join us Wednesday at 1 o'clock right here on Graybeard's Studio. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.